A rookie running back has put the Raiders on his back and helped turn the season around. But today, the real season begins, the Patriot League opener, and can the Raiders keep rolling against the Rams? Fordham and Colgate coming up next on Time Warner Sports. The leaves have turned and the weather has taken a turn for the worse, but on the bright side, we've got college football. So grab a seat and get comfortable. Colgate Raiders at 3-2 hosting the winless Fordham Rams in the Patriot League opener for Colgate. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Colgate University, Andy Kerr Stadium. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher, Bob McGilligan on the sidelines today. Glad you're with us for the continuation of our college football doubleheader on Time Warner Sports. It's Colgate and Fordham. And Dale, you saw the records. It doesn't look like much of a game, but with the weather and the Patriot League season starting, you just never know what's going to happen. A
lot of people up here talking about the fact that a team with nothing to lose can be a very dangerous team, and that's what Fordham finds itself in. They have 0-5, but this is the Patriot League starter, so it's a very important game for both teams.
Now, the Fordham Rams at 0-5 struggle on both sides of the football, a little bit like Syracuse in that regard, and they also have a very special tailback. James Perdaco, the leading rusher in the Patriot League. He had 127 against Colgate last year.
Well, he's a good athlete, and if they're going to go and they're going to challenge Colgate, Perdaco's the guy that's going to do it. Number 23, a real key for Fordham.
And a tailback on the other side, also pretty good in his own right, Jordan Scott, the true freshman with back-to-back 100-yard games. He could make some history here today.
We kind of kid being the third-team tailback, but he came out of nowhere. The freshman's done a great job. 79 carries, 305 yards, and he carries the ball very hard. He always goes forward, a real key for Colgate.
And he hasn't turned the ball over yet, but the sloppy conditions today could change that. Let's go down to the field with Bob McGilligan to get an update on how the field's holding up.
Well, the good news is, guys, the rain is starting to slow down a little bit here right before kickoff. Now, when you look at this field, it's pretty good along the sidelines here today. But as you move more toward the middle of the field, it gets a little bit more soggy. I talked with Emmett House. He's the head groundskeeper here at Colgate. And he said, hey, we had 4 inches of rain this week. There's not a heck of a lot you can do. So the numbers, they tried to touch them up. They're a little bit faded here today, the yard line markers. They also don't have that checkerboard in the end zone they normally have. But they'll be able to play football on this field pretty well today, although the grounds crew does expect that they'll rip it up pretty good too. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. Colgate coach Dick Biddle has won 4 of his last 5 Patriot League openers. That one loss to the Fordham Rams in 2002. Raiders and the Rams kick it off next on Time Warner Sports.
Raiders football on Time Warner Sports 26 is brought to you by Cole Muffler and Brake. It's time for a change, a Castrol oil change at your nearby Cole Muffler and Brake Center. By Barden Homes, better, faster, smarter. By Davidson Chevrolet of Rome, our prices are so low, our competition hates us. And by Oneida Savings Bank, your link to a brighter future.
Welcome back to Andy Kerr Stadium on the gorgeous campus of Colgate University for the Patriot League opener. Colgate Raiders hosting the winless Fordham Rams. Colgate has been very good on this field. 19 of the last 20 home games, Colgate has come out on top. All-time series between these two clubs, Colgate dominating 13-3. They've won 8 of the last 10. Dick Biddle 8-1 against Fordham. The one loss in 2002, that was on the road in the Bronx. This afternoon's officials, referees Dennis Krim, Dave Goodwin is the umpire, Mile Hill, John Miles, Christian Ulis, Mickey Record, and Steve Toll will also manage things down on the field. The Colgate Raiders have won the coin toss and they have elected to defer to the second half, so Fordham will start out with the football and they'll have to go against Colgate defense that's playing very well. Whole team's really playing very well lately for head coach Dick Biddle in his 10th season at Colgate. Impressive record, 79-33, more than 70% of his games, and in the Patriot League he has 46-10 in 9 years, so 10 league losses in 9 years. On the other side, Ed Foley, in his second season as the head coach of the Fordham Rams at 5-11. They were 5-6 last year and lost 4 of their games by a touchdown or less, but this year they have struggled with injuries, especially on the offensive line, and they're off to an 0-5 start. But you know, in the Patriot League, as we were saying earlier, teams play a little bit harder and step it up a notch. And the Fordham Rams, again, with nothing to lose. Jacob Stein kicks it off, and we're underway. And a deep kick from Stein, who's got a powerful leg. And here they come out of their own end zone. Brought down inside the 20-yard line. Good coverage downfield as Bruce Lee had not much room out there, and the Fordham Rams will start out inside their own 20. And on offense, the Rams, again, James Pradacco, the leading rusher in the Patriot League. Elton Hunt, Rayshawn Haynes, Mike Melvin, and Adrian Castro, the backup tight end, getting the start. Mike Sabatini, Mike Brzeznicki, Robert Fioravante, Kevin Straley, and Eric Miller in a very retooled offensive line because of all the injuries. And the quarterback is Derek Daniels. Terrific year last year, but the numbers this year, not what they expected. He had 23 touchdown passes a year ago. Just got his first one last week for 2005. And he'll keep it out first down. Nice move. Daniels gets the first down out across the 30. Brought down by Andrew Moore. Let's take a look at the Colgate defensive starters. Cashano, Worst, Petrone, and Galletley, a senior group up front. And very good. The linebackers, maybe even better. Dave Wesley, Jared Neppa playing very well along with Zach Dollar. The secondary, Cody and Chris Williams, the brothers, are cornerbacks. Andrew Moore and Jeff Bean are the safeties. Out to the 32 after a 16-yard gain on first play of the game for Fordham, and a good start. And now they go to Pradacco, and he's tackled right away. Cashano getting in there right at the line of scrimmage.
And they're using a lot of different things there offensively. They went out of a gun the first play, back under the center on this play, putting people in motion. They got a 6'5", 240-pound wide receiver in motion on occasionally. That's number 12, Conroy. So it's giving a couple multiple looks here early in the first quarter. See if they can't shake up this Colgate defense.
And the defense has really been very consistent all season long. Coach Biddle very happy with the way they've played. The offense just lately starting to show some signs of life. Daniels now under pressure, and down he goes, Jeff Galletley. And a big loss on the play all the way back to the 15-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 18, where his progress was stopped, but a big loss of 14 on the play.
Galletley really got in there because he was running right away. Watch, little fake, and he's going to look over to his left, but already he knows he's got to move because there was a lot of Worst was also putting pressure on him, but Galletley's the guy that dropped him for the big loss. And actually, it was interesting because number 23, Pradacco, was running free out of the backfield, but they just didn't give enough time to find him. He looked for him, couldn't throw the ball. Good pressure by Galletley.
Third sack of the season for Jeff Galletley. And they'll go with the draw play on 3rd and a mile, and Pradacco, nice moves. Pradacco out to the 35, didn't look like much at all, but able to slip out of there. He picked up 17 yards, but still 7 yards short of the first.
He's a 210-pounder out of Mount Sinai, New York, and the draw play certainly picked up a lot. Gave the punter's got to be happy. He's got a little more room in which to operate. They came up about 6 yards short, but nice draw play.
And the senior punter is Anthony DeFino out of CBA in Syracuse. So a local kid getting to come home to play a game here. Certainly a lot of family in the stands, and he is the leading punter in the Patriot League, so having a great senior season. Great snap, and not the best punt for DeFino, and he didn't get a bounce either. Kind of stuck and stopped right at the 33-yard line. That just looked like a pitching wedge shot. Came down and stuck there. So a 31-yard kick for DeFino, and the Raiders come out on offense for the first time this afternoon. And here are the starters for the Colgate Raiders on offense. Jordan Scott, the outstanding freshman. Ben Evans, Dwayne Long, Eric Burke getting the start for the injured Kenny Parker. Jeff Brown, the tight end. Worst, Mulligan, Silvosky, Hall, and Jonas up front. An offensive line that has been playing very well as of late. Saraceno, the quarterback, will keep it on first down, just like his counterpart did. He got about 5 yards. Mike Saraceno's numbers for the season, 6 interceptions, but 5 of those were in the season opener. And since then, he's only thrown 1 interception, so he's certainly cut down on the turnovers. 1 in his last 64 passing attempts. carry for Scott, and he is met and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Big defensive play for Marcus Taylor, who makes a lot of them. The leading tackler on this Fordham team, averaging almost 12 tackles a game. Defensively, Edwards, Gordon, Bosa, and Cole up front. Taylor, Cleve, and Jenrette are the top 3 tacklers for the Rams, and the secondary, Insano, Stevens, Garetano, and Whalen. Garetano, also another somewhat local product, played his high school ball in Rochester at Webster Schrader. So a 3rd and 4 for the Raiders. Saraceno rolling, looking for long, and he's got him. First down right at midfield. And he was run out of bounds on the play by Lewis Woodland, but Dwayne Long moving the chains for the Raiders.
The guy who got his 6th year of eligibility, and Colgate's glad he did. Nice job by Saraceno. It's a pass run option, and look at the zip on the ball. He lets him clear, gets behind the linebacker, and he drops it off to Long, picks up the first down, keeps the drive alive.
Dwayne Long, 6 catches last weekend against Princeton. And he's got one here today at the 50-yard line, and now he's got 2. See what he can do with this one. Nice move to get around the corner and out of bounds, and another first down. Then out of bounds that time by Garetano. Dwayne Long, 2 catches, 2 first downs.
Well, they changed their coverage at the last minute. It looked like they were going to bump him. They dropped off, and then Burke did a nice job of blocking on the outside. Number 1, the wide receiver, got a terrific block, and that let the first down be gained.
And Dwayne Long now with 94 catches for his career, and he is in 10th place all alone on the all-time list at Colgate. His counterpart last year, Luke Graham, at the top of that list. But certainly getting Long back for that 6th year of eligibility was a big key for Coach Biddle in the preseason. He was very concerned about his lack of firepower at wide receiver, and getting Long back is a real big plus.
Well, you mentioned the Syracuse analogy, very similar to the fact that you've got to have some receivers that are at least respected, and you'd like to have them feared.
Yeah.
That's an important aspect of your game. They've run a multitude of things, but Saraceno's got good receivers to go to, and Burke made a nice block, I said, in that last play, so he's getting good playing out of his wide receivers.
Scott again, this time. Taylor there for the tackle. He got about 3 after being stopped short on first down, so a 3rd and 7 coming up for the Raiders.
You know, look at Scott. He's only averaging, I say, only 3.9 yards a carry, but man, he is a workhorse because he gets the ball all the time, and he runs very, very hard. We talked about the fact with Bob Cornell how his forward lean, he always seems to go forward, never seems to get knocked backwards, and he's obviously a potent weapon as they really get into this Patriot League and hope to maybe win out and get a spot in the playoffs.
Well, in his first 2 career starts, he's averaged 38 carries a start. And for a true freshman, stepping up to the college level, that's pretty impressive durability. Quarterback draw, Saraceno not going to get anywhere close to the first down. The Rams really sniffed that one out. Josh Jenrette leading the charge, the 2nd leading tackler for the Rams. And we have a flag down on the far side of the field.
That was a flag whistle. You could hear him with authority, letting the other guys know that, let's check this out. Appears to be in the...
Going to go against Fordham. So the Rams with a big defensive stop there, but committing the penalty, so they'll mark off 5 yards and make it a little easier.
Here's a cliche. Penalties kill you.
We saw it last night with Henninger.
Right.
And Henninger was still in that game with FM.
So it's 3rd down, but a very makeable 3rd and a long 2 after they stopped with the line of scrimmage. I'll be interested to see what kind of a play they come up with here as Saraceno gets up, goes under center.
Long in motion all the way across the field. The up man Evans pulls over a tackler and got the first down as somebody lost a helmet. It's one of the Fordham Rams, but wow, he's got some power. Carl Garetano came up to try to stop him, and Evans just pushed him forward.
Well, let's give the fullback his due. He got great blocking up front. He really did, and he's a load. If you can get him going like that, that's a real key. And Jonas, offensive tackle for Colgate, 72. Nice block.
Well, Ben Evans averages less than 3 yards a carry, but he's always got a whole pile of guys on him, and he's moving the pile forward, and he picks up those short yardage first downs with regularity. Now here's Scott. Nothing doing on first down. Taylor was there again.
Tell you what, Scott's no surprise to Fordham. They've obviously done their scouting homework. They're not gonna let him rip them up at least at this point. They're making sure that he is well covered defensively. And you know, one of the keys, of course, is Fordham's Marcus Taylor, the linebacker out of Silver Spring, Maryland, 6'1", 220. He has done a nice job so far for the Rams.
62 tackles in the first 5 games, so more than 12 a game. And he's got 25 more tackles than the next leading tackler in Fordham. So number 5 for the Rams has been all over the field on defense. Evans out of the backfield and just off his fingertips. And we've seen him make catches with his fingertips before, but that one had a little mustard on it.
Yeah, had he been stopped and was able to, jump up, but that one when he was running and that was, the touch wasn't there. Saraceno knew it. He turned around and was kind of disgusted with himself because he needed to feather that ball just a little bit. He didn't do it. And he couldn't get that fantastic catch out of his fullback, so it's going to be 3rd and long.
2 for 2 on 3rd down. On their opening possession of this game, Patriot League opener for the Colgate Raiders. And that's going to cost them 5 yards. And that's a true freshman on the line, Steve Jonas, who's played very well. But
yeah, the guy who I gave credit for the nice block now made a mistake.
Wasn't what you get with freshmen, though. You get the great play one play, and then, the freshman mistake the next.
That's right.
So now back to the 26-yard line, a 3rd and 13, we'll call it. Now this kind of 3rd down will cut down on your conversion rate.
Low snap, yeah.
Deep ball, though. Saraceno well overthrown. Looking for Eric Burke, but there was 2 Fordham Rams running with Burke in the end zone. So now decision time. They're at the 26. Be about a 43-yard field goal attempt. And on comes Mike Rava to try and do just that. Rava's had a great year, 7 of 8. Including a 43-yarder against Cornell on this field 2 weeks ago. And that's right where they'll spot it for this one. And he left that one out.
Yep.
Wide to the right. So the Raiders come up empty, just like the Rams did on their opening offensive possession. And Fordham will get the football back and try and get some points on the board.
Just before he kicked that, I checked the flags across the way. No wind actually. So
looked like he hit it. He just kind of blocked it out to the right. Only his 2nd miss of the year, but the Raiders come up. No score at Hamilton. The Fordham Rams coming back on offense for their 2nd possession. The Rams looking for their 1st win of the year, and you said it in the break, Dale. Their defense looks pretty good for one that's ranked near the bottom of the league in almost every category. There's Daniels getting away in the backfield, and Daniels, good mobility, got the 1st down out to the 41.
Both teams run the option, and he just kept it there, but they're always making you honor that option, and he just kept the ball himself. Fake to the up back, nice cut right there. And now he's going against the grain, and when you're chasing him like that, you're not going to be able to bring him down again, run him out of bounds, but a nice pickup of a 1st down.
Well, Derek Daniels with 2 rushes forward for 31 yards. He also took the sack. Look at the snap. Daniels caught it, and then he's buried by Nepa. And Daniels a little slow to give up after that one. That wasn't exactly the crisp snap that you want out of your center, but again, they're retooled, and the center is normally the offensive guard.
Right, they've had to make a lot of changes, and that's, the key position. When you start with your offensive line, the first thing you want is a center, and you said they've had to move everybody around, and when you get that kind of a snap and you get nepotized, that's what he gets.
It's actually the backup center. The starting center is playing offensive guard, so they're really shifting all over the place to cover up for injuries. And now 2nd and long for that go. Not much room on the right side. The Raider defense has been very stout against the run 3 times this year. They've held their opponents to under 100 yards on the ground, and when they do that, more times than not, way more than not, they're winning football games under Dick Biddle. 48 times since Dick Biddle's been here, they've held the opponent to under 100 yards, and they've won 45 of those games. Certainly an indicator about how things are going to go. 3rd and 14 now for Fordham. 4 receivers in the pattern. Daniels, Shutterson Heat. He gets out of the pocket, but not much more. Jeff Bean comes up from the safety spot to run him out of bounds after he got back to the original line of scrimmage. And DeFino out for his 2nd punt of the afternoon.
Yeah, if you got to get that quarterback scrambling like that, that's what you want, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to beat you if they have to scramble that much. I'm giving exceptions to Marcus Vick.
Yeah, Marcus Hagans.
Yeah, Marcus Hagans, yeah, another one.
DeFino's first kick was a 31-yarder. He's got a long of 67 this year. And one of the most dangerous punt returners in the nation is back, Jeff Bean. End over end kick, and Bean going to let this one roll as well. And another short kick as well for DeFino in his return to his old stomping grounds. Maybe feel a little butterflies out there. That kick went 23 yards. So more good field position for the Raiders. Their 2nd possession coming up. No score in Hamilton. Back at Andy Kerr Stadium, the Rams and the Raiders scoreless here. About 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Let's check in again downstairs with Bob McGilligan.
Well, guys, I talked with Anthony DeFino, the punter for Fordham, before the game today. Talked about the weather conditions. He said these new balls that they had, they get slick pretty quickly, so it makes it tough to handle the ball. And, of course, as you know, when you go to plant that foot, well, you better hope the ground doesn't give way. So he'll have to battle through these soggy field conditions today.
All right, Bob, thanks very much. And, again, also battling some butterflies with family and friends in the stands. Former CBA star. Jordan Scott, just like you said, Dale, the workhorse, and he doesn't rip off a lot of big runs. It's all 3 yards, 4 yards.
Right.
And his long run of the season, which I don't have in front of me, is probably not that long. We'll look that one up. Got 2 on first down. Now we're going for Burke and incomplete.
So thus far, the Colgate offense has been less than scintillating. Not able to really get that 4 yards of carry you're looking for out of Scott. And the passing game, they've clicked a couple times, but they've had a couple of incompletions and find themselves in 3rd and long.
Well, here's the other thing about playing a so-called dangerous team with nothing to lose. Sometimes a team that is so heavily favored or should win the game, plays a little lackadaisical. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but they're having a hard time getting it going. Saraceno trying to take matters into his own hands that time. Gets up to the 45. And he is close to a first down. They probably have to measure this one.
Well, he drops straight back. Nobody home. He decides it's time to go. Linebackers, everybody's dropped to their zones, and he just figured he had enough, and he did. He got enough for the first down.
All right, so we did look it up. Jordan Scott's longest run of the season, 32 yards. So a little farther than I thought it was, but pretty good for a guy who's piling up the yardage. Doubleheader coming up on Sunday as well. CFL, BC Montreal at 1 o'clock. And another game to follow as Scott leaping up through the middle, and he is met a couple of yards after the line of scrimmage.
Well, the linebacker, Jenrette from Fordham, 25, met him very solidly just about the line of scrimmage, and we talked about his forward lean. He leaned forward for about 1.5 yards, but he took a shot.
There's the second half of that Canadian Football League doubleheader on Time Warner Sports tomorrow afternoon. Toronto, Winnipeg. That's a 4 o'clock kick. So BC Montreal Toronto, Winnipeg. Get your fill of CFL football tomorrow afternoon.
Ball's at the 51.
That's right, the 55-yard line. It's a different game, but every once in a while you see a big name that used to play college football show up in the CFL. No gain that time on second down, so 3rd and 8 coming up for the Raiders as this Fordham defense, again, coming into this game in total defense, they were last in the league. In scoring defense, giving up 30 points a game. But looking pretty good right here early on. That's big Jay Edwards. Big defensive end in there, number 93. Saraceno picked up the last one with his feet. Went to the air that time, and Scott thought maybe he had a little contact as the ball's in the air, but Taylor didn't break the rules, say the officials. So first punt of the game coming up for Jason Sutton.
Mixing up coverages. They looked like they were going to back off, then they come up and met the receivers as they came off the line of scrimmage and jammed them. Nobody open, and when he threw the ball, he was looking for Burke, but that was way behind Burke. He just didn't have anybody. I think he put it right there to just take the incompletion, and the offensive line not able to take control as of yet as this first quarter with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left. Colgate going to punt again.
Sutton, pretty good kick. At the 15-yard line. Wet, and he was buried. After he got to the 25, 27-yard line, 37 yards on the kick. And the Rams come back out on offense. Next Tuesday night, Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremonies right here on Time Warner Sports. Another class going into the Hall of Fame, and you can see it live right here, 7 o'clock next Tuesday night.
Gotta work on my speech.
Oh, are you going in? Finally, huh? I would have thought you'd be a first ballot
That's right.
kind of guy. Perdacco, nice moves in the backfield, and he got out of there, got about 5 yards. David Wesley makes the tackle for Colgate. Perdacco, pretty quick feet back there.
Yeah.
And a big guy, 6 foot 210.
210, and he got more than I thought. Watch, he's going to get the ball here. A little drop off on a draw play, and he really ran hard. Got about 6.5, 7 yards.
And against Colgate last year, 127 yards. He's only got 3 career 100-yard games, and that was one of them. And that time, Dollar up from the linebacker spot to cut him down. Got some help from Jared Neppa. Had not much on that play, so another 3rd down coming up.
These teams have both found themselves in 3rd down situations quite a bit, although this one certainly convertible, but the last time they had a little penalty. So let's see if they can pull this one off. Fordham trying to establish some offensive consistency.
0 for 2 on 3rd down. And Derek Daniels in a lot of trouble, threw it, and Petrone knocked it out of the air. Chris Petrone and Pat Nolan coming back to put on the heat. And he's really kind of lucky that wasn't batted up in the air, maybe intercepted.
They were waiting for this one because he's done the same thing every time. He fakes, then runs to his left. But look, you've got 2 guys with him. He can't cut back, and then he didn't really have enough daylight to be able to get those shoulders square and throw the ball, and Petrone knocked it back in his face. So a nice defensive play. They're trying to take that scrambling out of Daniel's repertoire, and they did on that play, and they're going to have to punt.
Defino on a punt again, standing at his own 20-yard line. Jeff Bean back at his own 28, hoping for a chance to return. He is 12th in the nation.
Looks like they're going to block it. Looks like they're putting the block, and it's going to be a delay, so Mr. Defino's got 5 more to contend with.
And those are the things that just have to drive a coach crazy.
As I said, penalty, every coach tells you, penalties kill you. Sometimes you get away with it, but not very often.
Dick Biddle's team, the least penalized team in the Patriot League. Only 15 penalties in their first 5 games. So they can't blame that. Really, the turnovers are what cost them in the opening 3 games of the year. They turned it over 13 times, and since then they've cut down on those mistakes. And that's really what's helped them turn the season around, along with Jordan Scott, a true freshman inserted a couple games ago. And his first start against Cornell here a couple weeks ago. 150 yards on the ground as you look at today's penalties. And then 100 yards last week on the road and a big win over Princeton. So now DeFino at his own 14-yard line. Perfect snap.
Nice
and a
punt.
much better kick from DeFino. Drives Bean all the way back, and Bean's going to have to let it fall. As the coverage was there. So a good job by DeFino that time, and he also got some roll on the kick. As he dropped it inside the 20-yard line, a 55-yard kick for Anthony DeFino, and the 10th punt that he has dropped inside the 20.
And I tell you what, he got good help from his gunner down there. Rayborn, number 82, was down there right away, so he should get part of the credit.
More Syracuse football at Time Warner Sports next weekend. Saturday, the Orange hit the road to take on the Pittsburgh Panthers as the 2 former NFL coaches, Wanstead and Robinson, going head-to-head next Saturday at noon. Saraceno had some pressure behind him. He ran away from it, got himself out of bounds. Had a good pickup at first down out to the 38-yard line.
Got a heck of a block by Jordan Scott there after he decided to run it 20 yards on the carry, but he wouldn't have gotten that much. Watch, maybe we'll see the block by Scott as nobody home, and he starts heading for the sideline. And you're going to see right at the right of the screen, right there, that was the block by Scott that really let Saraceno get the yardage he got. 20 on that first down, as both quarterbacks been scrambling a lot.
And he had Ed Gordon breathing down his neck, but Saraceno, obviously you have to be able to outrun a defensive lineman if you're back there, and he did. 20-yard pickup. Scott with another good block, and Saraceno going to run it again. Got out to the 46-yard line, a couple yards short of the first down, as big Jay Edwards was coming in from the defensive end spot, and Scott went down and cut him down.
Muschel was just gone to the sideline, number 65. We'll see the replay as he tucks it up and goes, cuts back to the middle of the field, and there's Muschel, hit a block right there, and he went out holding his arm, and he is out.
That'd be a shame. Mike Muschel has battled back from injury to get back on the field this year. Saraceno, look at the numbers. 10 yards a carry. Flags come down this time before the snap. They're calling out 92. That's big Ed Gordon, the captain for Fordham. Or it's Jeff Brown, the tight end for Colgate, 92. Coach Biddle's expression really never changes that much.
Little look of disgust there.
Yeah.
Suppressed disgust, I think, would be a good one.
It's hard to tell, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's not much different from his happy look. Very stoic guy over there, but actually, great guy to talk to. He just doesn't show it on the field. Now Saraceno's got Dwayne Long trying to make a move and stretch to the first down marker. He's a couple yards short. Knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. And Bruce Lee in on the tackle. Yeah, I love that name, huh?
Bruce Lee did a nice job because he's doing a roll. Now, he finds him right there, but watch Lee. Doesn't go for the Long's moves.
See, on that play, I'm on the field.
Yeah.
Right? He's put me down there. He's broken my ankles.
Yeah.
I'm grasping for air.
Help, help.
Well, that's why I'm up here and not down there. That and also a little too old for that. All right, Saraceno, first down. And much more inside the 40. Mike Saraceno just really hurting the Rams with his legs as he picks up another big third down conversion.
How many rushes that is for him? 16 yards on that, but they haven't all been designed rushes. Let's be honest. He's been scrambling a bit, but you know what? They all count, and he moves the chains. And
well, Saraceno maybe a little inspired by Jordan Scott, huh? Showing some moves as a running quarterback. 5 carries for 60 yards
quarter
in the first quarter. And a scoreless first quarter. And I tell you what, the longer the Fordham Rams can hang around and keep it close, the longer this could be interesting. But the Raiders are on the move inside the 40. First and 10 when we come back, scoreless after 1 quarter of play. Welcome back to Hamilton. Crowd hanging in there. Not the greatest day outside, but the rain has quit for the time being. And got college football, Patriot League opener for the Colgate Raiders. Scoreless after 1 quarter of play with the winless Fordham Rams. First and 10 from the 38. Scott right up the middle. Tough running against the Rams this afternoon so far. Got about 4 or 5 yards on the carry. And in on the tackle, Boo Ogunsanya. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to say that name today.
Well, you did it perfectly.
We'll go with that. First quarter numbers, no passing yards for the Rams, Dale.
No.
But they have run the football, mostly the quarterback. Dominating numbers really for Colgate throughout, but on the scoreboard, 0-0. Here's Scott. Had Evans out in front, but he is cut down. That Fordham defense is playing hard.
Well, Bruce Lee again karateed his way up into that.
Did he chop him down?
They chopped him down. He took the pile out. They tried to sweep, and he took the interference out. You see that little toss sweep. Evans lead, number 40. But watch him right here. He takes the fullback down and lets the posse come. If he can take care of the fullback, now the runner's by himself, and a real smart play by Lee.
Josh Jen-Red also in there in the tackle. So 3rd and 2 coming up, and a powerhouse backfield for the Raiders.
Whoa.
Scott up and over.
Short.
And he's short of the first down. He got just inside the 30. He needed about another yard. So decision time coming up. And a 4th and short. All those big guys up front, but they still couldn't open a hole. That Fordham defense.
Jenrette filled the hole admirably, the linebacker, 25 there for Fordham. And gonna go for it.
And this is really a big quarter for the Rams. The only quarter in which they've outscored their opponents this year is the first quarter, so they've been a good starting team, but the second quarter, they've been outscored by 5 touchdowns. So if they can keep it close here for a while, maybe they can make a game of this all the way down the stretch. Dick Biddle certainly expected it to happen that way, despite the records coming in and the way Fordham has struggled. He expected a close game because it is the Patriot League season, so now the games mean just a little bit more for both sides.
Well, that play didn't mean much because they didn't look good, so they called a timeout. They just figured that this was, let's get this straight for going on 4th down, because they just didn't look like they appeared to be in the right positions, and Saraceno wisely called a timeout. You can't snap the ball when it's this important. You got a drive going. So wisely took a timeout. Let's see what kind of a play they come up with.
Well, Saraceno's really been the key in this game. We talked a lot about the tailbacks coming in, but Saraceno doing a lot of damage with his feet so far. 60 yards on the ground. And 4th and a yard and a half. It's Evans, and I don't think he got there. And if you can stop Ben Evans short, you've really done something. Garitano signaling the other way, and I think that's the way it's going to go. The Rams holding the Raiders. Ben Evans, the big fella, 241 pounds, stuffed. Well, that may be the only time that's ever happened to him.
As big as he is, if you don't get a push against those 270-pound defensive linemen, it's going to be tough. The offensive line is not, the last time we saw them, they had dominance, and they were very consistent. And I think they were at Princeton. We weren't there, but it looked like the offensive line was a strong point. So far, they've not been able to consistently push Fordham's defense off the ball.
So a big stop for Fordham inside their own 30. And the Raiders, for the second time, get inside the 30 and come up with no points. Pass just out of reach for the Fordham Rams that time. And a second down coming up. It looked like Brent Smith may have jumped early, but no flag went down. So an incomplete pass. He was looking for Sylvester Clark, and Sly couldn't catch up to it. Daniels incomplete again that time. Eric Conroy, the intended receiver. That's another reason why Fordham is off to an 0-5 start. Derek Daniels, he set records last year at Fordham for a first-year starter, 1,876 yards. He had 23 touchdown passes last year. And so they expected big things for the junior out of Washington, D.C. this year. But he's only completing 50% of his passes, 8 interceptions, just 1 touchdown pass so far.
Not a good ratio there.
No. That has to be a little bit mystifying for these Fordham Rams, who are facing another third down. Here comes Delettley as he beat the double team, and all sorts of Raiders coming after Daniels. Finally just got rid of it, threw it out of bounds to avoid taking a loss. So 3 incomplete pass attempts, and Fordham Rams will bring out Anthony DeFino again.
Well, Galley and company put the rush on and got him out of the pocket, and he's rolling, and he had nothing else to do. He got way outside and threw the ball away and saved a loss. So DeFino, who's been one of the busier guys for Fordham, he had a nice 55-yarder the last time, and the kid from CBA is going to get another opportunity to punt away.
And now Andrew Moore is back to receive the punt instead of Jeff Bean, standing at his own 30-yard line. DeFino angling toward the sideline, and he's going to catch it. And a very effective kick that time. Out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. That's a punt of 40 yards for DeFino. Right on his average. Still no score here in Hamilton.
Pretty boring.
Well, Mike Saraceno, 65 yards rushing for the season coming into this with Dale. He's got 60 already here today.
Well, you know what? We talked about when you have to run, some of those have been designed, but a lot of them have been rolled out passes, and he wisely has used his brains and his feet to turn it up when he's had to, and got to be the leading rusher.
Yeah, so much for Jordan Scott versus James Perdatko. It's been Saraceno against Derek Daniels in the rushing department. Is Scott that time got about 5 yards on first down out across the 35.
Number 30,
Jordan Scott held in check. 19 yards on his first 10 carries. That was his 11th carry. He was up to 24 yards, so about 2 yards a carry. They're keying on stopping number 30, but Saraceno has killed him here in the early going. I guess he hasn't hurt him too bad, though, because there's still no points on the board. Fordham defense playing inspired football. Good fake that time. He's got Ben Evans wide open. Evans hurdles a tackler and got across midfield. I love watching Ben Evans play football.
I do too, and he lined up. He wasn't in the fullback spot that time, and you see him cut back across the formation. They had him up tight against the line, and then he just cut back across the formation, caught that 16-yard, or caught the pass, got it for 16 yards. But a nice look at the fullback. You love a fullback who can catch the ball. Rob Conrad used to play for SU, was the same kind of guy. Went to the NFL and made a living doing that, but fullbacks are few and far between in the NFL, but right here they got a good one.
Look out. Saraceno never had a chance. Jay Edwards unblocked. His 5th sack of the season now. He is 2nd in the Patriot League in that category, and a big loss on the play.
I don't know who to assign blame to, but look, Evans ran right by him, and nobody else.
Jordan Scott.
So did Jordan Scott. So one of those backs is responsible for getting him as he comes across the line of scrimmage. So somebody let him in there, and a big play, big defensive play, because that's a -8.
And that's not a guy you want to leave unguarded. Again, 5 sacks on the season, loss of 8 yards on that one. 2nd and 18. Swing pass. Scott got a block. Look out. Has another blocker out there. And Scott has a first down inside the 35. Well executed play for the Raiders. Todd Mulligan was downfield, leading the way for Jordan Scott, and a big first down. Let's go back downstairs as well. We'll check in again with Bob McGilligan.
Well, guys, Joe Tricario, who's the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for Fordham, after the first couple of series was telling his linebackers he wanted to jam more up the middle. He wanted to fire some linebackers in there to stop the running game, which they obviously did on the last series for Colgate. You see right there how you beat it, though. They get the running back to the outside with a pass. Back up to you.
All right, and Joe Tricaro, a Cortland State alum. Dale?
Yep. One of my schools.
One of your schools, right? Saraceno to the air, wide open. Dwayne Long inside the 20 and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And that's not a guy you want to leave unguarded either on the other side.
No, and they're doing the rollout, and he's really got a couple of receivers doing a long route and a short route, and then he looks to see who's open on a curl, and it was Long. Watch Long right there, and then he goes to the outside after he catches the ball. Nice job, 20 yards on that play, but they're trying to jam up the running lanes, which they have been doing, especially with linebackers, and number 5, the guy who's been doing a lot, Marcus Taylor.
And that was a bullet from Saraceno, who really throws the ball well on the move. Scott up the middle. Taylor is there.
Even
Marcus
as we
Taylor.
mention his name.
Well, yeah, you could mention his name probably on almost every play.
Yep, they're really fired up to take away Scott in the inside running game and force them to pass or to get outside. They've run the sweep a couple times, but they've really had good success on the half roll and then hitting Long or one of the other receivers on a kind of a medium route and a long route. Curls and short routes, 2 receivers out.
Another short gain for Jordan Scott. Now up to 26 yards on 12 carries today. And Saraceno taking his time at the line. Scott again, big hole, but it closed quickly. Garitano coming up from the secondary to make the tackle, the 4th leading tackler on this team. And a big smile from the Webster Schrader grad. He had a big game against Colgate last year, actually a couple of years ago, I should say. Those are Scott's numbers in the last 2 games, and those are his numbers this afternoon. They have done a great job shutting down Jordan Scott. Here comes the blitz. Saraceno got rid of it. Has Long, nice move inside the 10, inside the 5, and another first down. Dwayne Long, 4th catch of the day. All 4 of them have gone for first down.
Well, they're jamming up, and look at his eyes. He knows all along he's going to Long. Long was in a wide slot. They had him really spread out of the gun, and he knows he's going to be able to find his way, get open, and Long got open at about the 6 and then got up to about the 4. Long, nice job of not only getting open, but getting the extra yards in the first down.
The Rams have been giving up a lot of yards in the air, and that's where the Raiders are going now on this drive. Now they'll try the ground. Scott spins and scores, or he's close to it. No signal.
Number 30, Jordan Scott.
Now he's signaling second down. He was very close to getting into the end zone. Right at the doorstep, it'll be 2nd and goal.
See a lineman running in, and when they run in that quickly, they're trying to put their foot down to show where he was. And Whalen helped, but they are just short. They're just about a half a football away from a touchdown. It's 2nd down.
Second and goal. Right up the middle again. And they're leaning, but no signal yet.
Well, they're not going to give it now, so it's going to be 3rd down. They're not getting much of a push there.
How about that?
He got stood up when he tried to make contact, and they are not getting a push on those big guys inside for Fordham. Edward Gordon, 5'11", 270 in there.
Again, you have to pat this Fordham defense on the back. They're not making it easy for the Raiders, who have been rolling coming into this game. 3rd and goal. Scott again. Touchdown, Colgate. That time they opened up a hole. Followed Ryan Hall into the end zone. And they had to take 3 cracks at it from the 3-yard line, but Colgate Raiders are into the end zone. First points this afternoon.
Well, I got to tell you, Colgate did what they had to do. I'm impressed with this Fordham defense coming in, giving up 30 points a game. It's 7:28 left to go in this first half, and the first points have been scored.
Scott's third rushing touchdown of the season. And the extra point try by Rava is perfect. So the Colgate Raiders finally crack onto the scoreboard, 7-0. With 7:28 to go here in the first quarter. They've got a battle on their hands. The Rams are game this afternoon, but the Raiders get the first points today, and Jordan Scott just bowled in here, and Ryan Hall pulling and leading the way.
Yeah, Hall and Evans also, the fullback up in there, lined up as a back lead in there. One of the things, as you look at Scott, one of the things you gotta believe is this. Now, is this going to lead Fordham to kind of give up, or are they going to come back and battle? It'll be an interesting thing to see.
We mentioned a very important quarter for the Rams. Back at Andy Kerr Stadium, Jordan Scott has scored his third touchdown of the season to give the Colgate Raiders a 7-0 lead. And very pedestrian numbers so far for Jordan Scott, who has back-to-back 100-yard games. The Rams have really focused on shutting him down, but Scott able to get in from the 6-inch line. And now Jacob Stein back on the field as we get a few more rays of sunshine.
Yeah.
Maybe help dry things out a little bit here. Been raining for the last 8 days or so. It was dry most of the morning, but we did have some rain before kickoff. Field is holding up though pretty well, it looks like, from up here. Here's Bruce Lee again, cut down at the 25. Tackle made that time by Eric Tupta, freshman linebacker out of University Heights, Ohio. So Lee gets it out to the 26, and that's where the Rams will start out. The Rams, as you said, Dale, a little challenged offensively. They are 6th in the league in scoring offense. They only score about 15 points a game, and the rushing offense also at the bottom. 11 plays, 70 yards that time for Colgate. Capped off by the short touchdown run by Jordan Scott. And also a lot of big plays on that drive by Dwayne Long. Nothing there for Pradacco, Galetly, and a host of Raiders there to usher him out of bounds. So just like the Rams are focused on Scott, the Raiders are zeroing in on number 23.
Well, Galetly, 5'10", 267. He really, they stretched that play out, and he made good use of his 267 pounds to bring him down short of the line of scrimmage, so it's a second and about 11.
Pradacco on the delay. And just look at the Raiders swarming to the football all over the field. Sam Breslin out there for Colgate, along with Cody Williams in on the tackle. So the secondary really coming in. They're not really honoring that pass game.
And I don't think so. I think they talked about this in one of the breaks and said, you know what? Let's make them pass to beat us. And Pradacco, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in maroon right on top of him.
All right, so a big third down coming up. Another third and long for the Fordham Rams. Pressure, and down goes Daniels. Josh Worst that time picks up the sack. And for the senior, that's only the second sack of his career. Jared Knepp also back there applying the pressure. The Worst brings down Daniels, and another kick coming up for DeFino.
Yeah, they really got around to tackle, and you can see him coming in from the backside. Worst just did exactly what you're supposed to do. Used all those hands and swim moves and got by the offensive tackle.
And now a lot of sunshine out here. Haven't seen that in a long time. You pull out the shades.
Yeah.
It's a little too bright. The officials.
Illegal substitution.
Another flag going against Fordham Rams.
Prior to snap, we have 12 men on the field, 5 yards against the offense, still 4th down.
That's a second penalty against the punt team today. They had a delay of game as well.
You'd like to be able to have 12 guys on the field. It's a substitution problem at any rate. And so 5 yards farther back for Mr. DeFino.
And this is how you get to 0-5.
Yeah, we talked about they look so strong defensively, a little mediocre offensively. Maybe this is what happens to them, and they have a tendency to fall apart in the latter stages of the game. We'll see.
Pretty good kick from DeFino. Doesn't turn over, but It'll head out of bounds at the 42-yard line, so again, no return.
Anytime you can get a kick with no return, and he's getting about his average. That one was 41. He hit 40, 41, 42, and
if you can be
effective.
A net 41, that's
right, absolutely
the most important thing. We're in Hamilton, New York, Andy Kerr Stadium. Colgate taking on the Fordham Rams in the Patriot League opener this afternoon. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher, and Bob McGilligan. Glad you're with us this afternoon. College football doubleheader on Time Warner Sports. And from Syracuse, we slide over outside, out of the natural grass here at Colgate. Raiders trying to build on a 7-0 lead. They scored on their last possession. That pass a little bit too low for Dillingham.
Tight end doesn't get a lot of opportunities. He had one there. They're using those short rollout, the short patterns, the short curls, where they're curling right the same way that the quarterback's rolling, and that one was too low. But that seems to be their modus operandi at this point, because Fordham gearing to shut down the running game up inside. See if they can spread them out a bit. They got a wide slot.
Dwayne Long already 5 catches in this game, just in the first half. Saraceno looking his way again, but he's going to go short to Dillingham. Long throws a block, and Dillingham got the first down. Some teamwork for you. A first down inside the 45-yard line.
Nice job by Saraceno, because you know what? I thought he might run it, but you know what? It was good not to. Makes a kind of a perfunctory fake here. See both those curls again? The one guy long and the one guy short, and then Long gets in the man's way, and Dillingham gets the first down, and that's been a very effective play for Colgate.
7th catch of the season for the freshman out of Naples, Florida. And a first down to the 44 of Fordham. Scott looking for some running room. Not finding any again. They really string it out. It's Ogun Sanya again on the tackle for Fordham. Big number 96, first name Boo, B-U.
And Jay Edwards helps really make that go east and west, 93. See him just fighting the block off of Evans, and then if you can't cut up inside or go outside, you wait for the posse to come. So they did a nice job of really making them go east and west and not able to turn it up.
Minimal gain on the play. 2nd and a long 9. For Scott again on the delay, right up the middle. Good running. Ogun Sanya again wrapped him up. But Scott got inside the 40, down to the 37. He's 3 yards short.
Got a nice little trap block by 70 Mulligan. You might see it right there. There's Mulligan's block, and that really helped open the hole. So a nice block by Mulligan, but they're not able to get the first down. 3rd and about, well, 2 if you're an optimist, 3 if you're a pessimist.
And that's about Jordan Scott's longest run of the day.
Yeah, right.
6 yards. 17 carries and 38 yards now. Quarterback draw. Great call, well executed. First down, Colgate. Tackle made by Fonzie Culver, and I was hoping I'd get a chance to say that name. Fonzie makes the play. Another first down for a pretty cool customer himself, Saraceno.
I liked what he did there at the end. He called the play like a quarterback and ran like a fullback. He had 2 hands on the ball. Did not want to cough it up, and the young man from Florida engineering a pretty good drive at this point.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Saraceno, a lot of running room. And Dillingham out front. And Dwayne Long also with a great block, and he's inside the 10-yard line. Saraceno, a 22-yard pickup. Well, he continues to kill him.
Just say they're using Scott as a decoy. They faked it to Scott. 2 guys hit Scott. He continues his half roll, and then he gets in there. You can see the block by Long, 19 down there. All you got to do is screen him, and that's exactly what he did. And then a good job of saying, you know what, if they're going to try to shut off our running game with the tailback, I'm going to run the ball and use him as a decoy, and they did on that play for good effectiveness.
And another 1st and goal after a 22-yard pickup, 81 yards in the first half for Saraceno. He's got the ball again, this time into the end zone, and Long couldn't come up with it. Looked like a catchable ball, especially for Dwayne Long, who really only needs 1 hand.
I'll tell you what, he probably could have run that too. It would have been close, but watch. see how much space he had there. And but you know what? Sometimes you're going to make the right decision. Sometimes you're not. He felt that Long might have been able to catch it, as did Long. You can see his frustration as he hit the grass here at Kerr Stadium.
That's one you expect to see Long come up with more often than not. Second and goal, delay again to Scott. Tough running inside the 5. He broke a couple of tackles. Got a third and goal coming up. That didn't look like he was going to get anything, and Scott got 4 or 5 yards out of it.
Yeah, it's hard. Those delays, you have to hold your block longer. You know, it's difficult, and that hole opens. Sometimes it closes, and he hasn't gotten the ball yet. Sometimes it opens, closes, and opens. And right there, they stopped him short of the goal line, and it's, as you said, third and goal from about the 4.
Yeah, pretty important third and goal here for the Fordham Rams, particularly. Going down possibly 10-0 is a lot better than 14.
Timeout.
As we head under 2 minutes in the first half, and a timeout taken by Colgate to talk it over. You know, you talk about a team that's 0-5, and if they fall into a big hole, maybe they start to feel like, oh, here we go again. And certainly 14 on the board looks a lot worse for Fordham and better for Colgate than 10.
You know, you can tell that in coaching in high school. You can see kids in their faces when they get down like that, especially if they're used to it. It becomes like, oh no, it's a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it will be interesting to see whether they can come back.
All right, college football doubleheader today. Canadian football doubleheader tomorrow afternoon on Time Warner Sports. BC and Montreal will kick it off at 1 o'clock, and then at 4, it's Toronto and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A 4 o'clock kick right here on Time Warner Sports. And I know all about the Bombers. I used to work with a guy in Oregon that was a big Blue Bomber fan. And, you know, you don't run into a lot of Canadian football fans, but he was die-hard, always talking to me about the Grey Cup and everything else.
What cup?
Yeah, the Grey Cup. I think they play it in the spring, or it's a little bit different, but
it's interesting to watch.
Everybody
can be in motion.
It's a different game.
Three downs.
There's a lot going on. You know.
Kill the guy going for the punt.
All right, so third and goal now after the timeout at the 4-yard line.
That's
another quarterback draw, and Edwards able to catch Saraceno before he got going. Jay Edwards, another sack, his second of the game, his 6th of the season. And that was a big stop for the Rams. Now let's see what they do on 4th down. I would imagine they'd bring out the field goal unit.
They had him really spread out, and Saraceno looked like it was going to be, as you said, a draw, but Edwards really shot through there and stopped that play before it got going.
They're going to let some time run out before they stop the clock. The Raiders trying to not give Fordham a whole lot of time to do something with the ball when they get it back here before the end of the half. So another timeout used with 1:14 to play in the first half. And the Raiders at the 5-yard line, a 4th and goal, and Mike Rava warming up for his second field goal try. He missed from 43 yards earlier today.
And usually, obviously, we said he's been pretty effective, efficient, but he's got a little wind in his face now. On the goal post, you can see the wind has kicked up a bit. And it'll be kind of a chip shot, not much more than an extra point. There's the flag waving. That's in his face, that wind.
Of course, it'll only be a 22-yard attempt for Mike Rava. I was talking to Coach Biddle yesterday about the 3-2 start they're out to this year. They were also 3-2 at this point last year, but last year felt different. They were coming off the championship game run, and it seemed like everything was a struggle to get going. And this year, there's just a different feel about this 3-2 start to the season. They've won their last 2. They're getting on a roll a little bit. The defense playing very well. The offense coming around a little bit. And some high expectations being raised again, as they are every year here at Colgate. It's Rava right through the wickets. A chip shot field goal for Colgate. For a moral victory for the Fordham Rams, though, able to keep Colgate out of the end zone.
You got to hope, if you're Fordham, you're right, that's going to give them a little bit of momentum as they go in. Well, we got still a minute 10, but let's assume nothing happens. Going into halftime, only down 10, could have been 14, and your defense is playing well, but you've got to go in and get that offense on track because they've just been teeing off on you lately. And the offense that started out with the quarterback keeping the ball and running a bit really has not been effective anymore, and Dick Biddle and his crew are really doing a nice job defensively against them.
Well, Coach Biddle going through some personal tragedy just a couple of weeks ago. His sister passed away down in West Virginia, and it was the Monday of the Cornell game week. He had to go down to West Virginia and help the family take care of things. The funeral was the Friday before the game. So he's going through those kind of emotions this year, along with the emotions of trying to get his football team back on track. And they've won their last 2 games, and that has to help a little bit, but he obviously says he still thinks about it a lot. As of course you would, and you know, at the end of the season you would expect that would really start to hit home, but Coach Biddle never really lets his emotions show over there. That's part of who he is. And part of what his team is all about as well. Very businesslike, and they get the job done for the most part. Bruce Lee takes it to his own 10. Lee driven down by Breslin. Sam Breslin with an authoritative tackle. The freshman out of Wayland, Massachusetts. And a backup defensive back makes the play on special teams. So the Fordham Rams, 65 seconds to work with. And 74 yards away from getting into the end zone.
You know, the guy that I'm looking at out there for them as we look at Colgate, but for the Rams, Conroy, the wide receiver, he's 6'5", the slot man, big target. They haven't been able to really get him the ball.
6'5", 240.
Yeah, big guy.
Daniels rolling and throwing it at the feet of Adrian Castro, backup tight end. And there's another guy they're missing today. Their starting tight end, Jim Caffarello, also the team captain. He was the leading receiver on this team when he went down a couple of games ago. And Adrian Castro trying to fill in, but the sophomore trying to fill in for a senior who's one of their big weapons. Only a couple of catches so far this year, so you lose a guy like that, you know, it's another similarity to the Orange. They lost Joe Kovaleski for a couple games, and the offense struggled to get going. And you lose important components, especially on that offensive line. And you might have a hard time, especially against the defense like Colgate's, is Galetly. Another big play right at the line of scrimmage.
Galetly's had a good game today. He's been getting in the backfield and pursuing down the line of scrimmage, getting rid of his blocker and following the play and making the tackle. You like to see your defensive tackles making those plays on the backside.
And here we go again for the Fordham Rams, another 3rd and long. And still no passing yards in this game for the Fordham Rams. The Raiders, one of the best pass defenses in the nation coming in. So not a big surprise against an offense that's struggling. And Daniels forced to use a timeout.
Yeah, that was going to be another 5-yarder, I think.
There was 16 seconds on the first half clock. He may have been well suited to let the clock run a little bit more, although you take a 5-yard penalty, but I think they want to get in the locker room and regroup for the second half. They have, you know, it's still a game. I mean, they're still in this.
Hey, it's not even 2 touchdowns. You know, you can beat them on 2 possessions. Anytime you can beat them on 2 possessions, you're in the game. It gets down to 3. That's a little bit more difficult depending on the time.
Big East football next Saturday at noon. Syracuse on the road at Pittsburgh. The Panthers and the Orange, Dave Wanstedt and Greg Robinson squaring off at noon right here at Time Warner Sports a week from today. And the Orange have always had their problems down at Pittsburgh. But, you know, Pitt's having their problems too this year, so that could turn out to be a pretty good battle. All right, 3rd and long, 16 seconds left in the first half, and predictably they'll keep it on the ground. Predatko stuffed at the 30. Galetly again in on the tackle. along with Tom Cusciano, and that's how the first half will end.
And that is the end of the first half.
Well, the Colgate Raiders, pretty dominated defensive effort. And 10 points in the second quarter. And that's it. 10-0 our score here at the half as the Raiders try and kick off the Patriot League season with a win. Let's go downstairs to Bob McGilligan.
All right, guys, I'm here with Dick Biddle, the head coach for Colgate. Looked like you got your running game going in the latter part of the first half there. Quarterback Saraceno, a big part of that. How important will it be to keep that running game going in the second half?
Well, we have to continue, and I'm a little disappointed. I don't think we're executing that well on offense. I think we're playing very good defense, but we're a little spotty, a little inconsistent on offense. We're kind of herky-jerky, and we're relying on the quarterback to break contain to make plays. So we got to be more efficient on offense. We should be up by another score, but we're just hanging around, not playing well enough, keeping them in the ball game. So we got to do a lot better on offense.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Dick Biddle, the head coach of Colgate. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. So Coach Biddle has some talking to do, and so does Ed Foley on the other side, but competitive football game thus far. 10-0 our score here at halftime.
Walter Camp and Football News Team.
Welcome back to Colgate. The Raiders with a 10-0 lead over the Fordham Rams in their Patriot League opener here at halftime. And they're honoring 6 new inductees into the Colgate Hall of Honor out on the field here at the half. First, we're going to go down to Bob McGilligan, who's standing by with the basketball coach of the Raiders, Emmett Davis.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And Emmett Davis here with me. And Coach, last year your team went 12-16, but that was a season that I'm sure that you learned from and you're ready to move on. And this year you expect to have more of a veteran team, don't you?
Well, we do. We're going to have a very veteran team. And last year we had some situations that came up where we didn't have some guys, injuries and various things. And again, it all comes down to that at the end of the day, how healthy you can stay. But we have, an all-league player in Alvin Reed at the point who's back, and Kendall and Kyle Jones who weren't around last year, as well as Mark Daniels who got hurt after the 6th game. So we're going to be a much better basketball team than we were a year ago.
Bucknell is a team that you always seem to be chasing here, and last year you had 2 close games with them, only losing by 1 point. So is that the standard once again that you're looking at? Is that the team to beat?
Well, this year I think Bucknell and Holy Cross again will both be really good. Holy Cross won the regular season last year, 13-1, and were very, very good. Bucknell made some noise at the end of the year. So both those teams return a lot of players. But I think we'll be in the mix with those teams this year. And as you said, we lost to Bucknell by 2 at home and by 1 at the buzzer at their place. So we're not that far away from them.
And your season is not that far away from starting. Early November is almost here. It's already the 15th of October, and you start, November 4th?
Yeah, we had our first practice last night at 7 o'clock. We had another one this morning at 11, so we're 2 practices in. Our opening game, we're in the Guardians Classic, which is a 16-team tournament. That's a great tournament. We're at the University of Iowa. The other 3 regionals are Kentucky, Texas, and West Virginia. So it's a great tournament, and we hope to advance to the Final Four if we can in that tournament.
Tell me about coaching here at Colgate and how fun it is for you.
Well, it's been a great experience. I'm starting my 8th season, and you're dealing with tremendous young men. I've got former players of mine that are lawyers, doctors on Wall Street. And it's difficult coaching guys that are smarter than you, but it's fun. We've got great young men, and we're gonna continue to move the program forward here now that we have scholarships.
It's tough interviewing guys that are smarter than you too. So thanks for leading me right through that, Coach. Thanks. Good luck this season.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
Emmett Davis, he is the head basketball coach, and now we're going to bring in an alumnus of Colgate. And of course, it starts raining. We should have a delay here right now. Joe Castiglione is with me. He, of course, is the voice of the Boston Red Sox. And, Joe, this is where it all began for you, isn't it?
Yes, it did, Bob. 1964, I was a freshman, did my first athletic event right here, Colgate Cornell football. Colgate win, of course, as always. And we had a lot of fun broadcasting Colgate football every week and Colgate basketball during the winter.
This is also an area that you're familiar with media-wise, not only from doing the sports here, but you did some work in the Syracuse area, too.
Yes, I did. I did a grad program at Syracuse and worked at Channel 3 there in radio and did some Syracuse basketball with Joel Marinas and had a lot of fun and sort of cut my teeth there professionally and then moved on to Cleveland and Milwaukee and then the Red Sox 23 seasons ago.
Now, I understand that you weren't expecting to be here today. You were hoping to be able to hold out and come here at a later date, but your team didn't comply this year.
I wish I'd be in Anaheim right now in the sunshine instead of here in Hamilton, New York in the rain. I love it here, but 2 weeks from now would have been better. But hey, we got the ring last year, and You know, the Yankees haven't had one for 5 years, so ours is more recent, even though they may have 26 of them.
How special was that experience for you to not only go through it yourself, but to be with a team that hadn't won for so long?
It was unbelievable, Bob, because it didn't seem like it was very likely. The Red Sox swept the Angels, were down 3-0 to the Yankees. It's never been done in baseball history where a team came from that deficit to win. The Ring says it the greatest comeback of all time, and every day you just sort of had the feeling that maybe something special will happen, and you didn't want to jump too far ahead. And then when it came to the World Series, the feeling was even though you beat the Yankees, which was the ultimate, you had to win it all, because other Red Sox teams have made it to the 7th game and lost since 1918, and then we got it in 4 games. And as I said at the last out, can you believe it? We're still pinching ourselves.
Hey, before I let you go here, which we have to do because of the weather and because of the time, you're signing a book here today. Hold your book up. Show us your book. There it is. Broadcast Rights and Sights. Joe Castiglione, Colgate alumni, here today watching the Raiders. Joe, thank you very much.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. And we had a lot of Colgate stories in here about Colgate football at our day's broadcasting. But I think baseball fans will enjoy it, and thanks very much for having me.
All right, Joe Castiglione. Guys, back up to you where it's dry.
All right, nice and cozy up here, Bob. Get under cover as the rain starts to fall here again at Colgate as they honor the 6 new inductees into the Colgate Hall of Honor. Kelly Andrews, Greg Minuski, Tara McLaughlin, Beth Mosley, David Perry, and John Reed, all entering the Colgate Hall of Honor here this afternoon. And unfortunately, the rain not cooperating. But on the scoreboard, the Raiders on top, 10-0 over Fordham. Back with some stats and highlights next. Welcome back to Andy Kerr Stadium. The rain has started falling here again as the Raiders enjoy a 10-0 lead over the Fordham Rams here at the half. A very competitive football game thus far. The Raiders scoring all 10 of their points in the second quarter to take that 10-0 lead. The Rams not able to get anything going on offense thus far. And Dale, I guess the good news is Fordham is making a game out of this. They're very game in this football game. Their defense playing well, and they kept Colgate from making it a 14-0 lead.
They did, and that's one thing that they go in at halftime and say, look, this is what, with the positive aspect, but we got to get the offense going, or they're going to come out and take it to us, because that last couple of offensive series for Fordham, they didn't do much at all.
All right, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights in this game. Jordan Scott has been shut down, as has James Perdatko, but Derek Daniels and the other quarterback, Saraceno, doing some damage.
Well, you know, these were some of them were designed plays, some quarterback draws, but a lot of them they were scrambling for their lives. Perdatko, he got a couple of opportunities, but generally held in check after these first couple of series by Colgate defense. But he's a good runner. Let's see if they can get him established in the second half.
Now Mike Saraceno really doing the job as he goes down there by Jay Edwards. So the Ram defense again playing well, but for the most part, Saraceno playing well, as is the defense.
Galecki in there just did a nice job. He's been very, very active in the Colgate defense, just all over him. One of the things you're going to see Saraceno able to do the same thing on the offense, running the ball. So both the quarterbacks running the ball effectively. And the leading rusher, of course, is Saraceno. He's got 80 yards. He's averaging over 8 yards a carry. I don't know if you'd like to see that in the quarterback, but lately the little short passes were working. They got this set up for the touchdown. You can run little roll passes and hitting long and some other receivers. So you see the stats right there. Time of possession, check that out. Double in the time of possession. And, of course, the total offense, 235 to 42. So you can see that Fordham's got their work cut out for them.
And I'm not sure, I don't quite remember, but I think at the end of the first quarter, Fordham had about 42 yards. So I don't know if they gained a yard in the second quarter. That Colgate defense just dominated.
Now, they certainly lost any momentum that they had. It looked like, you know, they were really going to come out and give them a game, but offensively they couldn't do it. Defensively, I got to give them credit. They held them in that field goal, and you heard Dick Biddle say, you know what, we should have had another score. I think he's a little disappointed in the way his offense, we said the offensive line doesn't seem to be clicking like it was the last time we were here, so let's see what they do at halftime.
Yeah, you'd figure they'd be up a little bit more than 10-0, and I think that's what Coach Biddle is a little bit disappointed about, as he said. And again, no yards in the second quarter for Fordham, so they've got to get the offense going and keep their defense playing well. Raiders with a 10-0 lead here at the half. We'll come back and take a run around the Patriot League. It's the opener for the Raiders in league play. We'll run that down next. Colgate Raiders halfway toward their first shutout since game 3 of last year. 10-0 leading over the Fordham Rams here at the half and not giving up a yard in the second quarter. Well, this is the Patriot League opener for the Colgate Raiders, who are 46-10 in Patriot League play under Dick Biddle. They have dominated in league play. And coming in, here are some of the numbers to look at. Perdatko, again, the leading rusher in the league coming into this game, averaging 100 yards a game. He's at 31 yards through the first 2 quarters of play here this afternoon. Some other Patriot League leaders, 2 quarterbacks here, number 4 and 5 in passing yards. But of course, those don't
using
tell
their
the
legs,
whole story.
Using their legs today and not their arms.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
As Saraceno 80 yards on the ground this afternoon. Daniels only 11 net yards, but he has gained more than that going forward. He's been sacked though a few times. Receiving leaders, Dwayne Long in yardage, 3rd in the league coming in, and he's had a big afternoon so far, 5 catches in this one. Kenny Parker at number 5 in the league, but Parker out today. He was hurt last week against Princeton, sprained an ankle, and did not practice much this week. They haven't missed him so far, but we'll see how it plays out in the second half. Standings entering today's play. Look at the Georgetown Hoyas, already with 3 league games in the books. And the Colgate Raiders playing their first Patriot League game. So a chance to jump up there with either Lafayette or Holy Cross into first place after today. Holy Cross was picked to finish last in the league by the coaches, and well, I guess coaches don't always know everything.
I guess not, and that they're traditionally, this league is older than since Colgate's been in it, but Holy Cross one of the better teams. But you're right, they were not picked to be that successful, and you know what? As you said, it doesn't always work that way.
And Lehigh, the only ranked team so far in the Patriot League, they're 0-1 in league play. So 10-0 our score here. We'll come back with the second half as the Raiders look to open up the season with a win.
Raiders football on Time Warner Sports 26 is brought to you by Cole Muffler and Brake. It's time for a change, a Castrol oil change at your nearby Cole Muffler and Brake Center. By Garden Homes, better, faster, smarter. By Davidson's Chevrolet of Rome, our prices are so low, our competition hates us. And by Oneida Savings Bank, your link to a brighter future.
Back at Colgate, the Raiders haven't lost when leading at halftime this year so far, and they're up 10-0 here on the Fordham Rams at the half. And Fordham just 42 yards of total offense in that first half. A dominating defensive effort for Colgate. And the Rams need to get something going, obviously, on that side of the football here in the second half to have a chance to stay in this game. The defense for Fordham playing well, keeping Colgate out of the end zone near the end of the first half. And forced the field goal try, but Colgate will start the half, most likely the second half, with the football. They deferred in the first half. And so they'll have a chance to add to that lead right away.
Well, Coach Biddle said that he was not pleased with the offense, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. I thought they became a little more effective in the passing game with the little short curls and things with the rollout, and we'll see right away.
All right, let's get back downstairs to Bob McGilligan with an injury update.
Jeff Bean, who is a strong safety, the junior strong safety, one of their top players in the defensive backfield, and also a kick returner for Colgate. Didn't play much of the first half. He was having migraine headaches. They took him back into the locker room. They've treated him. He's got his helmet on. He's in the huddle right now. Looks like he's coming back to start the second half. Back up to you.
And the rain is also coming back to start the second half. So good news for the Raiders, bad for the Rams. As good as the Colgate defense was in the first half, now they've got one of their better players back. It's Jeff Bean back in the lineup. And Ed Foley's crew in a world of hurt. Now, Ed Foley, you've heard of Glenn Foley, right? That's his brother.
Yeah.
Former BC and New York Jet quarterback. So Ed Foley with some family bloodlines here in the Northeast. And trying to get this offense going.
They'll have plenty of time to talk. They're going to have to play defense first. So I'm sure they've gone in the locker room and said, you know, we got Perdatko out here. He's a leading rusher in the Patriot League. We haven't been able to do much with him. You know, he had 9 rushes, 31 yards. So, and a lot of that came on 2. So it wasn't particularly effective.
Colgate Raiders drive summary in the first half. You see the long drives there, the missed field goal, then the touchdown, and then they had to settle for the field goal at the end of the first half. with some pretty good drives, and that's why they dominate in time of possession. Almost double that of Fordham in the first half, and they lead the league in that category.
Nice kick.
David Morgan wanted to bring it out, but Jeff Bean said, easy, freshman.
Yeah.
Take a knee. Morgan, a freshman out of Davie, Florida, does the wise thing and puts a knee down, so the Raiders will start out at their own 20, and I think that's their worst field position of the afternoon.
Yep.
Pretty close to it.
Everybody recruits that Sunshine State, don't they? You look
a lot
around,
of Florida players up here.
Double A, you know, a lot of the rosters we saw from Central Connecticut, from Fordham, a lot of guys from the Sunshine State, a lot of players down there, and Colgate comes right out, by the way, without a huddle, gets set to go.
Saraceno, 80 yards rushing in the first half. And he's got it again, and plenty of room out there, but decides to throw instead. Wide open is Dwayne Long. 6th catch of the day, and Long, some tough running after the catch. Got out to the 42-yard line, another first down.
Now, once again, they're doing the fake Scott, and then he's doing that half roll. Kind of, as I said, kind of a perfunctory fake. Holds him. He got a nice block from Mulligan again, and then there's that little 2 receivers, 1 short, 1 long, 22 yards on that play.
The play has been effective all afternoon as the Rams have not figured out how to stop that one yet. Dwayne Long, 6 catches for the 2nd consecutive week as he climbs the all-time receiving charts. Now got 98 for his career.
Stop by 53, Corey Turson. 2nd down.
Terzis on the stop for Fordham, 53.
So Colgate hasn't really got much going on the ground, Dale. The Rams have done a pretty good job there with the exception of Saraceno. But through the air, Saraceno's really kind of picked them apart. Only 9 of 15, but the receivers have been running clear. There's another one, Evans. Open across midfield. He's upended by Bruce Lee. Get close to another first down.
Terzis in his face, but he got the ball out to Evans. And that little pass game, the short pass game, controlled pass game working. Watch Terzis right here getting off the block, but you see how Evans waited. You could see him waiting for that ball all the way in. He knew you got to catch that ball before you run. Sometimes like a fullback, you get an opportunity, but he's been an excellent receiver every time we've seen him play.
Very sure-handed. Now 3rd and inches, and look for Evans again. They're going to go with Scott instead, and Scott got the first down, but not much more. Lewis Woodland, freshman linebacker, drives him backwards. And Scott, more tough yardage, but he did get the first down.
Talk about, you know, taking a beating. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. You know, pretty good size. He's not, you know, 210, 220. But, boy, he gets hit a lot, and he gets a lot of carries. You're carrying the ball 25, 30 times a game. You got to be pretty durable. And for a freshman, he's certainly shown a lot of durability and savvy.
And now Colgate, another first down, their 15th of the game. Saraceno in trouble, got out of there, and only got a couple. And it looked like it could go for a little bit more than that, but Fordham very quick to make the tackle. It's Ryan Mira, freshman linebacker out of Ridgewood, New Jersey, bringing down Saraceno before he could really get going.
A lot of white jerseys in there. You see that penetration. They're really shooting the gaps and getting through there, not really honoring the fake Scott. They just went right by that.
And a career high in rushing yards for Mike Saraceno, the senior quarterback. Junior quarterback, rather. He's got another year left. Taylor got blocked by Scott, but then got back up and picked up the sack. Marcus Taylor, only the 3rd sack of his career.
Well, I'll tell you what
it's
they
surprising
did.
For, you know, that's always in there.
Just going to say they had great coverage downfield. Watch, he can't find anybody. He's got the time, but not able to find the receiver. So number 5, a nice sack. He's had quite a game for himself. Marcus Taylor.
And look at the tackles per game coming in, leading the Patriot League. And a big one there. Coverage sack. Taylor picks it up, and a 3rd and long for the Raiders. Good protection for Saraceno. Throws and almost intercepted as a flag comes down. Greg Whalen had a beat on the football. And that was good coverage that time by the Rams.
And they're man-to-man because Jenrette, he blitzed the linebacker, everyone. They tried to put a lot of pressure on him. Ineligible downfield, is that, if I remember correctly?
We'll get the confirmation.
Ineligible receiver downfield, 84 offense. Penalties decline, 4th down.
So the Ram defense does the job on Colgate's opening possession of the second half. Jason Sutton on the kick. And he'll try and nail one inside the 20-yard line.
Wind in his face now. It's picked up a bit. Those flags were pretty much just sitting there when we got here, but a little rain coming in, a little wind.
High end over end kick. Taking it to 16. Yeah, good coverage downfield by the Raiders. Right at the 20-yard line is Sano on the return. 32 yards on the kick. And the Rams back out on offense. They haven't gained a yard since the first quarter. We'll see if the Raiders can extend that streak a little bit. The Raiders enjoying a 10-0 lead here, but tenuous at best. New quarterback in for the Fordham Rams to start the second half. Their opening possession of the half. It's sophomore quarterback Matt Fulham to the air and going down on his first play. And that's the kind of pressure that Daniels has been under all day. Jared Neppa, the first one back there for Colgate. You see Fulham's numbers for the season. 3 out of 10, 30%, touchdown and 2 interceptions. And Fulham, the sophomore out of Wayne, New Jersey. Played in 3 games last year as a true freshman. And now getting back in there to try to get this Ram offense moving. But they move backwards on first down. Now here's Perdatko, able to wriggle out of the tackle of Galletley and get upfield up to the 25. That was all Perdatko right there.
Yeah, it looked like he was not going anywhere. Galletley was inside early, and they broke the tackle. Watch Galletley right there, breaking it off. But then he breaks it up off to the left side, off to his left side, and picks up positive yardage.
Well, it's not 3rd and 10 at least. But it seems like the Rams have been in almost every possession lately. It's 3rd and 6. Fulham got his man and a first down. Catch made by Jonte Coven out there. And that's the first movement forward we've seen from the chains since the first quarter for the Fordham Rams. So Matt Fulham rather getting the job done there.
Matt Fulham, Coven looked like he was going to stay in and block, and he released at the last minute, got a nice release, turned around after he got over the first down marker, and a nice reception. A little confidence builder for Fordham as they got the offense at least in gear.
Their 3rd first down of the afternoon, the first since quarter number 1. Let's see if they can put together back-to-back.
Now they're going to put the delay together.
Yeah, that's been hurting them all day. So Ed Foley's offense moving backwards again. And he's been the offensive coordinator there for a long time. He was for 5 years before he took over as head coach, and he's had some great offenses in the past, but this year, for a variety of reasons, and we've been talking about the injuries all day, the Rams have struggled to get going. And again, the similarity to Syracuse holds true there. Defense playing well, but the offense not getting it done. Perdatko brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And another movement backwards. Brent Smith, the big tackle there.
Yeah, Brent Smith and Neppa. Smith down low and Neppa following him. Stop that for nothing, minus a couple more.
Brent Smith, little turf on the helmet. Fulham fakes, had to get rid of it. Galletley running right with them. And the Raiders defense seems to have figured out that play since the early going.
Galletley, that 5'10", 267-pound defensive tackle, he's having himself quite a game, and they did a couple of different things there. Interestingly, they took Brent Smith, the defensive end, and popped him up at the last minute in a linebacker spot. Stayed with the receiver. The ball wasn't on target, but they're giving him some different looks up front.
So Fulham facing a 3rd and long situation. 4-1 for 7. And here's a big reason why, because for the most part it's been 3rd and double digits, and they go to the ground, and Raiders saw it coming. Josh Worst, another big tackle in the backfield. So after picking up their first down in a long time, the Rams move steadily backwards, and now they'll have to kick it from deep in their own end. Anthony DeFino on to punt it.
Oh, Galletley and Nepa and company really having a good game.
They saw that draw play coming almost before the ball was snapped, and Worst almost could have taken the handoff. Jeff Bean back to receive the kick from Anthony DeFino. Former CBA stars, had a couple of good boots. And that's a pretty good one too, end over end at the 35. Here's Bean. Bean trying to get the corner, won't get there. Good coverage downfield. Eric Conroy making the tackle on special teams. 44-yard kick and a 6-yard return for Jeff Bean. That's less than half his average. Good job by Fordham, but the Raiders back on offense. Welcome back to Colgate University, and the skies threatening above, but the sun out right now. Tuesday night, Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremonies live here on Time Warner Sports. That starts at 7 o'clock, so tune in for that coming up on Tuesday night. On 1st and 10, Saraceno hands to Jordan Scott. And more tough yardage, and a flag comes down on the first play of that possession.
I'm guessing that's going to put him in a little bit of a hole on a hold.
Let's wait for the call. And it is going against the Colgate Raiders. After some discussion out there, and I think we replaced the battery on the referee's microphone. Get the call from Dennis Krim. Well, maybe we didn't replace the battery, or maybe the battery's not working. Anyway, they'll mark it off against Colgate. Back to the 31-yard line of the Raiders. So it'll bring up a 1st and 20, and the Raiders not exactly coming out of the gates strong here in the second half, trying to put this one away.
Not what you'd like to see.
Saraceno got it to Brown, who had it once or twice and then ended up dropping the football. That would have been his 5th career catch, so doesn't get a lot of action at the tight end spot. The junior couldn't hang on there.
Jay Edwards right in his face there, number 93. He's been getting closer and closer. He's playing a real good game for Fordham.
Saraceno almost lost his footing and took a big loss there. Second and 20. Saraceno looking long for Dwayne Long, who almost made another terrific catch. 3rd and 20 though coming up as we check in again with Bob McGilligan.
Hey guys, I'm with John Reed right now. He is one of the inductees to the Hall of Honor here at Colgate. This all really started with the ceremony last night, now the halftime ceremony today. How good does it feel for you to be enshrined here today?
Well, it's always an honor when your alma mater, recognizes what you've done, but it was wonderful last night. It was a great setting, small, intimate, and it was really nice. And then to go in with 5 other people that have, really done well and at Colgate. It's it's nice they call us icons.
Now, you played basketball and baseball here. Were you just as good at both?
Well, I was recruited for basketball, and I could have gone to Syracuse and several of the other schools for basketball. but I also knew I could have signed professionally out of high school. But I wanted to go someplace to play Division I in both. And Syracuse and others kind of discouraged me. They wanted me to pick one or the other and probably wanted me to pick basketball. But I always knew that baseball was a chance. And as it turned out, baseball was the best opportunity. We had a great team here. And so I really got an opportunity. But it was nice. I mean, which was better? I went pro in baseball, so I guess I was.
All right, John. Hey, congratulations for your induction, and enjoy the rest of the game.
I will. Thank you so much.
John Reed, he's part of the Hall of Honor here at Colgate. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Bob. And an injury timeout on the field. Time to remind you to watch Syracuse Sidelines every Thursday night at 7 o'clock as head coach Greg Robinson and I break down the Orange game from the week before and look ahead. And this week we'll be breaking down Rutgers and looking ahead to the Pittsburgh Panthers. That's live Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Time Warner Sports 26. And we'll also be talking about this game on Thursday night. Syracuse and Pittsburgh as the Orange get back on the road next week at Pitt. And you can see that game live here on Time Warner Sports 26 as well. It's a noon start a week from today. Fordham safety Greg Whalen being helped to the sideline. He was down on the field for a short time. And now we're ready to play again. 3rd and 20 for the Raiders at their own 30. Saraceno going deep, looking for Burke. And Bruce Lee is there instead, and he picked it off. Basically like a long punt, but Bruce Lee gets the interception, and Saraceno only his second interception since week 1. And he was just kind of looking for the home run, and not a terrible thing that this was intercepted back there.
No, it was just extremely off the mark, basically.
Or he misread Eric Burke's speed a little bit.
By the way, you know that Jay Edwards has been after Saraceno. Now, they're both from Sunrise, Florida. I thought that was kind of interesting. Wonder if they were teammates.
We'll have to look that up. We'll get our crack crew on that as Bruce Lee celebrates the interception. And I've been saying Bruce Lee's name quite a bit this afternoon. Mostly because we like to say Bruce Lee.
That's right.
And I believe that is his first career interception. But bad field position for the Rams again, and they're going deep. Looking for Conroy, the big fella. And Chris Williams was running with him. 2nd down coming up.
Chris Williams, 5'10". He's a little bit outsized there at 7-inch height differential. But they haven't been able to really hit him that effectively yet. Conroy is just a big target, but they haven't been able to get the ball to him.
Matt Fulham in relief. Sophomore quarterback for Fordham. Derek Daniels ineffective in the first half, and Fulham on his second possession.
Oh.
Perdacco going to try the wide side. Cashano out there along with big number 78 Chris Patron to make the tackle after a gain of about 3 yards. We're at Andy Kerr Stadium in Hamilton. It's the Patriot League opener for the Colgate Raiders, hosting the Fordham Rams. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher, Bob McGilligan with us today. Glad you're with us as well. And the Raiders looking to open their Patriot League season with a win for the 5th time in the last 6 tries.
Illegal shift. Offense, penalties decline, 3rd down.
And the Fordham Rams have been playing well defensively, but haven't put up much of a fight on the offensive side, especially since the first quarter. All right, our crew has looked it up, in fact, Dale. Edwards and Saraceno from the same city in Florida, but not the same high school.
Okay.
But obviously they must have faced each other once or twice in their high school careers, and here they are again on opposite ends, and that's picked off. Cody Williams still on his feet, looking for some blockers. He's got him. Williams inside the 10. Touchdown, Colgate. Well, there's a backbreaker for you. Fulham threw it right into the hands of Cody Williams. And he picked it off, and he took it into the end zone, his 3rd career interception.
Watch the block by Nepa. You're going to see. guys. Nice running. Block 31 does it, right? Oh, must have seen it before. Didn't see it on that look. But not but 2 counts. Block, great interception. And that's, you know, up was the guy.
Williams, a young sophomore. His cornerback on the other side, his brother Chris. With 4
Good.
PAT try. He pulled.
Look, one. He blocked 3 guys.
Style. Montreal and BC kick it off at 1 o'clock, and that'll be followed by the Blue Bombers and the Argonauts at 4 o'clock. Doubleheader of Canadian football here on Time Warner Sports tomorrow afternoon. Jacob Stein on to kick it off. And the Raiders now with a 16-point advantage, and against a Fordham team that, well, quite frankly, not scoring a lot of points. And not doing anything in this game since the first quarter on that Colgate defense. Short kick, taken at the 15, and a full head of steam and up and over. Wow, what a tackle out there on special teams by Zach Dollar as he flipped the return man up and over. That was Sylvester Clark, head over heels. Take another look here.
Ooh. 2 guys hit him. I'm surprised he got up that quickly. And that's Dollar.
And Dollar is down after the tackle. Breslin also helping out there. Good field position, but boy, it came with a price. Actually, for both teams, as Dollar in some obvious pain on the Colgate sideline. Nate Johnson taking his place. The ball is loose on the field, and Pernatko able to get back on it. Pernatko is really heated back there. He's leading rusher in the Patriot League coming into this game, but he's got nothing going today, and it's just not a good exchange.
No, he appears miffed at Mikal Welch, a running back, 49.
Another loss on the play. They have moved steadily backwards. Fulham, a lot of room out there. Got his pass away and got his man complete, and a first down. Good pass play to Rayshawn Haynes. Fulham put a little heat on that ball. Throw on the run.
Both backs stayed in to block because he's had some problems. He's rolling out, reverse roll to his left, right-handed passer. Nice ball delivery to Haynes, and a first down, and they're probably got the best field position they've had in a long time.
Haynes' first catch of the afternoon, and their first passing yards of the afternoon. Blitz coming on Fulham. Flags come down as well as Fulham gets out of there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and brought down there by Patron and Worst. The flags are a pretty good indication that this one's going to move backwards again.
having a little trouble picking up those blitzes and those defensive linemen, Gallantly and company. They're making them hold.
Holding. Number 75 in the offense. 10 yards, previous spot. Replay first down.
Battery's working great now, isn't it?
Must have got a, I'm not going to say a brand name. I'm going to get paid for that, but they got a fresh one in there as Dick Biddle watching his defense put on a clinic here this afternoon.
No problem with the clock.
Yeah, it's got no time on it right now, and I'm sure that's the way the Raiders would like it.
Well, you know, it was interesting because they ran a stop and go pattern on the outside, and there was a pump fake, but after he made the pump, everything just kind of collapsed on him.
Yeah, there's a lot of Raiders coming on the play, and again, a retooled offensive line for Fordham. Really kind of patchwork together and having some difficulty holding off this Raider front four. While they work out the clock, we'll take a look at Fordham Rams season today coming in, and you know, it looks pretty bad, and obviously it is, but here's a thought. They've started out with 6 of the first 7 on the road. They're again on the road next week. Only home game they've played so far is Columbia, and that was their closest ball game. But 6 out of 7 on the road, I mean, that's brutal.
That's ugly. Who arranged that?
I'm not sure. They'll finish out with 4 straight at home, but tough to keep your season going when you're starting out like that. First and a mile now for Fulham. Gets out of some trouble. Kept his feet, got the pass away to Conroy, and it's a catch, but he was a couple of yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and you can't do that.
No. He was desperate.
And Fulham obviously not as mobile as Derek Daniels.
You see the call, he'll make it.
Just kind of running for his life. This Fordham offense still looking for some answers. Right now it's 62 total yards.
Illegal foul pass. Quarterback field line turn through the ball. Number 18, 5 yards off and down. Number 2.
So also a loss of down on the play, and also mark off some yardage. So going for bad to worse doesn't really tell the story here for the Rams.
I think they use some of those 7 blocks of granite they have back there. Vince Lombardi played for Fordham.
What do you think Vince could do with this team?
It'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The Rams really, just 3 years ago, they won the Patriot League, so they're not that far removed from having a lot of success in this league. But this year, just things not going their way as Perdacco. Short gain on 2nd and a mile, and so it'll bring up 3rd and a little bit less than a mile.
Number 78, Christopher Funnell. Number 13, Sam Breslin on the stop.
Just checking to make sure that Jeff Bean is in. He is 28. The guy we talked about had to have some medication given to him for headaches or migraines, and he is back in and playing well.
3rd and 18. Fulham going down again to Letley. First one there for Colgate. That Raider front 4 has really dominated the line of scrimmage this afternoon, and another sack, another big loss, and another punt coming up for Anthony DeFino.
Yeah, they're bright. They're bright. Of course, you know, they knew they got a pass. They don't have to play anything honest. You know, you can just take off.
Pin the ears back and go after it. And it looked like they're coming after this punt. Maybe looking for the final nail in the coffin here near the end of the 3rd quarter. Pretty good kick by DeFino. Bean will take it at his own 27. Ran into his own guy. Good coverage downfield, and the Rams doing some good work there. He's brought down to 30 after a return of only 3 yards, 44 yards on the kick. Tommy Stevens makes the tackle for Fordham. And now can the Rams keep them down there? Fordham has been outscored in the second half this year, 69-24.
Kind of gives an indication of what we were talking about. They kind of, they can't sustain that, and then when they don't, they just kind of fall apart, I'm guessing. But we'll see if Colgate can take advantage of that.
Colgate scoring on defense in this second half on an interception return. Really, Jordan Scott, they've been doing a great job on him. So, obviously the game plan coming in for Fordham was stop Jordan Scott, and they have.
Well, they have, and they've done it consistently, too, and they're really making them work. They had Edwards again in there, 93, and, of course, the guy who's been playing so well, Marcus Taylor, number 5, the linebacker.
Jordan Scott, 21 carries, 47 yards.
That's a lot of carries.
And not much to show for it, but he does have the touchdown. Now to the air, Evans. Pretty nimble moves for the big fella as he gets out close to the 40 and a couple of yards short of the first down.
And I've been watching Scott, he blocks too, like on those pass plays. He's not just pretty face back there. He does a nice job of block. Right there, you see him blocking, getting down and get the ball off to Evans, but his backfield mate helped him out by letting Saraceno get a good look by making a nice block, and Evans finished it off with, about a yard short of the first down.
He also finished off Jeff Brown, who was trying to block for him, and Evans just
out of my way.
Ran right into his back. He actually outweighs Brown, who's a big guy himself. Third and short, they'll throw for it, or Saraceno will run for it, lots of room. First down, and a good play in the open field. Otherwise, Saraceno could still be going. Chris Insano coming up to make the play, but Saraceno got just enough to move the chains.
You see Insano did, as soon as he made the tackle, he turned his head. We'll see it at the end of this to see, look at the first down marker, because Saraceno cuts back against the grain, looking for a block from Burke. But
and look at that, he's the only guy out there.
Yep, you can see him turn around and say, did I do it? Not quite, son. About a yard short, but a nice effort.
Saraceno up to 85 yards now in the day. Got Mulligan out front now. Edwards shakes Mulligan off and brings down Saraceno for the sack. Jay Edwards, third sack of the game.
They're both from Sunrise, Florida. You'd be a little nicer to him.
They're not really saying much after the play either.
No, he did a nice job of getting rid of that block. Man, he's tough, that kid.
Ed Gordon also in on the play. So 530 pounds of human being coming down on Saraceno that time. And they lost 6 yards. Edwards cut down that time by Scott as long as the catch. And another good play by Insano in the open field. Long held to a real short gain, about 2 yards on the catch. 7th catch of the day.
It's funny, they do so many things like right, and then they just are not in Fordham. This is obviously, they're not able to, to put it all together. That's what everybody's looking for, consistency.
That's the end of the third quarter. Well, the Raiders have added to their lead, but not by a whole lot. 16-0 now, our score after 3. Fourth quarter in Hamilton when we come back. 16 points was enough for the Raiders to beat Princeton last week. Will it be enough this afternoon? Well, the way their defense is playing, I would hazard a guess to say yes, it would. But the Raiders still looking for a little more cushion now. 3rd and 14 from their own 40. And here come the Rams. Lots of time for Saraceno, and he overshot Dwayne Long. The Ram defense stepping up to get the ball back for their offense, but I think the Ram defense might have to think about scoring because their offense has not shown any signs of doing that. Three-quarter stats, they picked up 19 offensive yards in that third quarter, Dale, but
man,
the numbers don't lie.
61 total yards of offense. It pretty much tells the whole story. And 10 minutes more time of possession, almost a whole, well, 2/3 of a whole quarter. And we've still got the other quarter to go.
High kick for Sutton. And Insano thought about fair catching, but took it inside his own 20. And a good return out across the 30 as flags come down as Anzano may have been hit out of bounds, and that'll add on a little bit more. Robert Wenger there to usher him out of bounds after a 40-yard kick by Sutton. We'll see what the call is on the field. Yeah, this Fordham offense, believe me, can use the help.
I think it definitely was a late hit. When you get in that game there, you know, you're on the special teams and they say, you know, make the tackle, and you get a little anxious and he steps out of bounds and you say, well, it's only a couple of feet, maybe if I just...
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, 51 on kicking team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
All the way out to the 48-yard line. Wow, what a big penalty.
This would be great.
It's been a while since the Rams have crossed the 50. Matt Fulham, though, has a couple of completions in this game, and has the Rams looking a little bit better, but this Colgate defense, for the most part, has controlled things. And now a flag comes down again before the snap. And we'll see which way this one goes.
Prior to the snap, we had an illegal snap, 62 to the center, 5 yards, still first down.
Again, a backup center for the Fordham Rams, but that's, you know, Ed Foley, what else can you do? Just, you got to laugh. I mean, you move 15 yards ahead, and then you go 5 yards back on a couple of penalties. So, first and 15 now for Matt Fulham and the Rams. Quarterback run, Fulham up the middle. Nepa brought him down, but Fulham got across the 50 inside the 47-yard line of Colgate. Pretty good call, good execution there.
He's a big guy, 6'3", designed play. Pushing, look at him, got his hand on the back of his tackle there, pushing him ahead of him.
Mike Sabatini leading the way through the hole. And a much more manageable second down situation now for the Rams. Bernatko looking for a block from Conroy, and he got it. And he's close to a first down at the 42-yard line. Appears to be a little bit short. They'll bring out the chain gang to measure. Well, the Rams, they're inside the 45, Dale. They're showing a little sign of life here, but what they've done is then after getting a first down, they'll start moving backwards again, see if they can keep it going this time, as they're about half a yard short.
Well, you know, if they could, let's be silly here. Instead of get a touchdown and go for 2, they make it 16-8. You know, that's you're never out of these. In fact, that Central Connecticut game, you can never say never.
Well, their season high in points is 20 for these Fordham Rams. Last week, 14 points at Brown University, 10 the week before. So they're not exactly prolific, but a third and short makes it a lot easier. Bernatko, boy, I don't know, real close. Tony Williams up from the cornerback spot to make the play. And he had a little help there, but I think it will depend on the spot.
Pretty close, you're right.
It was Bernatko again on the run.
I think his league-leading Patriot League is gonna
not gonna stand
last.
up either guy.
Last through this. But of course, Scott's not going to challenge him today either.
Yeah, leave it to us to point out that Bernatko and Scott are the key players, and actually it's come down to Saraceno and, well, for Fordham, really the defense is
right.
The major player today. So it is a fourth down, And why not? 0-5, 0-1 in the league. Haven't been in this position for a long time. Go for this one. 4th and inches for the Rams. Surging and finally lurching ahead is Fulham as he just kept pushing and pushing and finally slipped through a crack and got the first down.
Well, you know what? I got to give them credit. They're still battling. They're still working, and look at that. Man, oh man, that's like pushing a rock up a hill.
Just as I was about to say, he didn't get there. He finally able to push through the pile and pick up the first down. They have come few and far between for the Fordham Rams this afternoon. And now can they build on it? Another quarterback run. Fulham this time, not much.
Tell you what, I was watching Galletley. He's pursuing from the backside, leaps into the pile. I tell you, number 67, he really plays with a lot of enthusiasm.
Good look at David Wesley right there, junior linebacker for these Colgate Raiders. And yeah, Galletley, very athletic.
Yeah.
Not a lot of size, height-wise, but he's broken up some passes. He's always in the backfield doing something. Over the middle, caught by Conroy. Off the tip ball, somebody got a hand on it. Conroy able to bring it in, short of the first down.
Yeah, I think it obviously was tipped.
Might have been our man Galletley again. Conroy is down on the field.
No, it wasn't Galletley, it was somebody next to him. Well,
it was Cashano or?
Yeah. But nice. Oh, the referee went down. I just saw that.
And he's okay, but Conroy still on the field.
6'5" receiver.
6'5", 240-pound receiver.
Yeah, good size.
I'd say, out of Lindenhurst. And it's going to be about a 3rd and 2 coming up for the Fordham Rams, so nothing coming easy for the Rams as Matt Fulham, sophomore quarterback, over getting some instruction from the head coach, Ed Foley. Fulham threw an interception in the 3rd quarter that was returned for a touchdown, and that's the only points here in the 2nd half, as this Raider defense has been in Fulham's face and Derek Daniels before him all afternoon long, and really the front four are doing much of that work, Dale.
They have been doing a nice job, and you can see they started off with Daniels early, Galletley, and then they've just been all over him. One of the things they've been doing is getting a lot of pressure from inside. It's not even coming from outside, it's the front four. There's Galletley again.
And so the Ram quarterbacks have been running for their lives all afternoon. It's Conroy. Limps off the field. Eric Conroy already wearing the brace on the right knee. And he is helped off, and now a 3rd and 2 situation for the Rams. Pernacco caught in the backfield by Worst. And he certainly got the worst of that. Galletley also in there. Josh Worst coming up with another big play.
If you can do that with your front four, that really makes things a lot easier for linebackers and things. You know, normally that's what they're there for, to back up the line and help, but they really haven't needed that much help today. And they've been doing a lot of blitzing. You saw that little blitz package we showed you. There's a run blitz that they put on Worst.
And Fordham taking a timeout.
Yeah.
As they're facing a 4th and 5 at the 35. And most likely going to try and go forward with 11 minutes to play here, and still looking for some points and some momentum. And the Raiders looking to pitch that shutout. They're 11 minutes away. Well, things did not go the Orange's way this afternoon, but here's a home team that could pull off a win, the Colgate Raiders. They've won 19 of the last 20 here at Andy Kerr Stadium. And a 2-touchdown lead on the Fordham Rams who are facing a 4th and 5. Fulham in trouble, and down he goes. Josh Worst, second sack of the game and the 3rd of his career. And you know, when you've got 3 career sacks and you're a senior, you got to come up with some kind of a celebration move.
Yeah.
I don't know if he planned that. Well, Josh Worst has been in the backfield all afternoon. Big smile. His twin brother Jeremy plays on the offensive line for Colgate, and they'll have some fun celebrating tonight. And he was just getting into that sack dance, and along came his teammate, knocked him down. They've been knocking people down all day. Josh Worst, 3 career sacks for the senior out of Milford, New Jersey. And the Raiders have it back on offense. Jordan Scott hit right away, and he's going to go down for a loss. Big Eduardo Bosa, state champion wrestler, and when he wraps you up, you're not getting out of there. And again, that Fordham defense showing a lot of fortitude.
They really are. You'd think they might have said, well, you know, it's time to, let's just hang it up, but not so.
But, you know, I think if I'm out there on defense, I'm going to try to rip that ball out and score.
Oh, yeah.
With the offense struggling like they are. Saraceno got around the corner, but Ed Gordon there as Jay Edwards is down on the field. And Edwards was cut down on the play there, giving Saraceno some room around the corner, but he's slow to get up. Let's get another injury update from Bob McGilligan.
Well, guys, Eric Conroy, the senior wide receiver who got hurt on that last offensive series. Mark, you talked about the knee brace he had on. They took that off. They looked at the knee. He's now walking around on the sidelines, still in a little bit of pain. I think he's a little bit questionable, may or may not return here. And the guy they're bringing off now, Jay Edwards, he's had a problem throughout this game with either his right arm or his right shoulder. He's had it checked a couple of times, and he's been trying to flex it. So he's off on the sideline now, but it looks like he may get back in there soon.
All right, thank you, Bob. Conroy missed the 2001 season with an injury. He was also hurt in 2003. And wounded again on the sidelines as that pass for Scott incomplete. And I'll tell you what, the Rams almost had that turnover we were talking about.
They have not. They're still battling. I got to give them a lot of credit, the Fordham Rams, and you know, it's into the 4th quarter, 9:34 left, and Colgate still not clicking offensively with any kind of consistency, and they got to be a little upset about that.
Yeah, Colgate will be on the road at Holy Cross, one of the league leaders next week, so can't afford to be sluggish going into that one. But it appears anyway they will hold on and start out 1-0 in the Patriot League. Sutton on a kick. Another good kick from Sutton. High spiraling kick, fair catch. Called for and taken by Ansano at his own 13-yard line. Jason Sutton enjoying a big breakout afternoon. 49 yards on the kick, no return. And the Rams again deep in their own end. Derek Daniels back in at quarterback for the Fordham Rams. Matt Fulham played the entire second half to this point, trying to spark the offense, wasn't able to do so. Now Daniels overshooting Mike Melvin, his leading receiver, favorite target. Jeff Bean there defensively. And this Ram offense, they really make it look tough, don't they?
Yeah. And he's looking the whole way, and then nice close, and he gets beamed.
That's, you got beamed. That's a good one. It's the same thing as the Syracuse, and we've been relating them to Syracuse all game long, but on offense, some teams make it look real easy to pick up 7-8 yards just like that, and other teams, for a variety of reasons, just it seems so hard for them, and Fordham and Syracuse would certainly fit that latter category. Here comes Andrew Moore on the corner blitz. Daniels getting out of there, but Moore caught him from behind. Andrew Moore kind of inserting himself. He hasn't called his name yet today. And Moore comes up with a big play there. Another 3rd down coming up for Fordham.
How many times have you said another third down coming up for Fordham?
Yeah, the broken record, right? Gotta think of a new way to put that. The challenging situation.
It's the down before
for the Ram offense. Here comes Galletley. Daniels got rid of it and got it away and complete to Adrian Castro, but a short pickup. Daniels really had to improvise to do that.
Galletley just...
He's seen that move all game long.
Yeah,
Galletley not about to be fooled again.
Yeah, I know where he's going. You're going down.
So again, that Colgate front four forcing the issue. And Anthony DeFino on his own 6-yard line.
I'm going to check how many punts he's had.
We'll look that up for you.
Thank you.
That's his 8th kick of the day, and that's a good one. Bean at his own 45, a lot of room to run though. Bean flags on the field, but Bean still on his feet. Inside the 30, got the corner. DeFino there to make the tackle inside the 10. Well, Anthony DeFino saved the touchdown. We'll check the flags down at the 35-yard line. Always a bad sign on punt return. Good kick by DeFino, and Bean took it all the way back inside the 10, 39 yards on the kick. And as expected, it goes against the Raiders.
He's on the plus side. That was a terrific tackle by DeFino. He really did a nice job.
Won't get credit for it, unfortunately. On a personal note, but on a team note.
Return, holding, number 26, receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
They're going to move it back to the 46-yard line. The Raiders still with excellent field position. And they haven't done anything on offense either here in the second half. Both defenses maintaining control of this game. But the Raider defense scored on a touchdown by Cody Williams. And that made it 16-0 in the third, and that's still where we stand. Just about halfway through this fourth quarter. Jordan Scott. And as has been the case all afternoon, a short gain for Scott.
He's got fullback numbers in terms of the yardage, but he's a guy coming in who is, as you said, his longest was what, 39 yards?
32 yards.
I'm sorry, 32. Run. Yeah, but he's really a workhorse there. He's kind of like a Clydesdale today.
You like defense? You must have loved this second half. Total yardage for both teams, 88 yards in the second half. That's combined.
Yeah. Oh my.
A lot of defense out here. There's the big fella Evans. A lot of room around the corner. Evans almost hurdled another tackler as Bruce Lee kind of took him out. Didn't really commit himself to making the tackle with Evans with a full head of steam.
Run that little fake and then Evans to the outside, and you'll see Lee call a little roll block.
That's the pain-free method of taking out Ben Evans.
That's right.
Evans did hurdle him. Still got the first down, though, inside the 30. Ben Evans, 13 yards on the pickup there. That's probably one of the longer runs of Ben Evans' career. Short yardage specialist. We'll get it again. Same play, and this time they sniffed it out. Greg Whalen up from the safety position. But the clock continues to wind, and under 7 minutes to go now. And the Raiders looking to wrap up their third straight win.
Well, this won't be pretty, but they'll say a win's a win, and it is a Patriot League game, but I don't think they expected to have as much trouble with Fordham as they are having.
There will be definitely concerns on the offensive side in the coming weeks as they travel to Holy Cross next week and then come back for a big one with Lehigh. Saraceno, great catch by Brown, fingertip catch.
That's a fumble.
Lost the ball when he hit the ground, we'll see.
Okay.
I think he was down when the ball came loose. And they're all calling it a first down at the 16. Jeff Brown, only his 5th career catch. That was pretty.
Yeah, look at the time he had. And he's got Brown cutting across, got those big hands up. Right there, 17 yards on this. There he was down, and then the ball popped out after he was down.
He's still able to swallow it up with his big paws. So Jeff Brown, a big catch. And the Raiders at the 16 now. And maybe they can get some offensive momentum before this game is over and head into Holy Cross with some positive vibes. But Jordan Scott cut down in the backfield. That Ram defense continues to play hard. That was Corey Terzis back there, backup defensive lineman.
They got a lot of things they can look at and say we did a nice job. Edwards coming off again. He's had a good game, the defensive lineman who came off for Fordham, but they have played well defensively. They've been put in some tough situations by their lack of offense.
Now whistles will stop this one before it gets going. 5:06 to play. Raiders trying to add to their lead. Moving backwards.
So procedure's going to cost the Raiders 5.
Prior to snap, false start, number 77 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Again, Dick Biddle's team came in the least penalized team in the Patriot League. Just 16 penalties in the first 5 games. They've got 6 here this afternoon, so another point of contention, I'm sure, for the coach this week. Scott, big hole up the middle. Jordan Scott into the secondary and down close to the 10-yard line. We got quite a bit of that back. It'll bring up a third and about 5.
One of his longer runs of the day.
Absolutely is.
A little delay and waiting for the blocking setup. Got up inside, right up the middle where they had. It's been tough in there with the defensive 10 in there. Marcus Taylor, number 5, who is still in there. The linebacker has had a great day for Fordham.
Jordan Scott has had to work for every one of those 55 yards so far. Third down, they'll fake it to Scott. Saraceno, running room, got a block, and he got the first down inside the 5. Jake Silvoski, the center, leading the way. And a key block there to spring Saraceno for the first down.
Well, I'll tell you, this is kind of a microcosm of the game because this is what happened in the first quarter of the game. Both quarterbacks running well, and Saraceno running there, decided it was time to go after the rollout to tuck it up, made a nice decision, got the first down, but both quarterbacks early were running the ball, and it's continued for Saraceno, although been passing the ball occasionally, getting some little short curl patterns off, but running again today.
Under 4 minutes to go, first and goal. Scott met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Marcus Taylor again making the play for the Fordham Rams, and a second and goal upcoming.
See why he averages 12 tackles a game.
He has to have at least that this afternoon.
Yeah, he's just very, very tough and reads that. And Scott gets nowhere after he runs into number 5, and it's going to be second and goal out to 5.
We're talking about Saraceno again. Dick Biddle telling me yesterday that one thing he's done now is not trying to win games all by himself. First game came out of the gates through the 5 interceptions against Central Connecticut State and maybe trying to press a little bit. And since then, Saraceno has cut down on the turnovers and playing within himself, and that's a phrase that's used over and over. And Biddle says he just kind of told him, we don't want to lose games in the first quarter anymore. We want to give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter. So Saraceno has definitely done a good job of that. All right, let's go back downstairs. Bob McElligott has a very interested father with him.
Yeah, I sure do. And I tell you, this has been a big game. I've never heard so much rooting for the punter in all of my life, but that's what we've got here today because a CBA grad playing for Fordham. Your son played, or you went to Fordham. Now your son's playing for Fordham. How special is that for you?
I think it's really a thrill to see him playing for my alma mater. And my dad went during the glory years with Vinny Lombardi, and I don't think I'm so proud that he's playing for him. And I wish we were doing a little bit better today. And we'll go game by game. We're young. We're gonna We still got a few minutes here. We got a few more games in the league, and I think we could still cause a lot of trouble in the league with the remaining games that we have in the league. They're all league games now remaining, and we're not totally behind the 8 ball yet. We're going to improve. Every game we're improving. Just a few little bad breaks here and there have been trouble for us.
Geez, you could be coaching this team as well. I got to get Mom in here. Debbie, it's got to be nice, at least when you cheer for the punter, he doesn't get hurt much, right?
Oh, sometimes he does. There's those roughing the punter calls, but he's had a pretty good year. He hasn't gotten too hurt, so I'm glad about that.
All right, guys, there you go. The big punter contingent that have come over from Syracuse here to watch Fordham today.
The DeFino fan club, well represented here this afternoon, and well, they've seen their favorite Fordham player perform quite a bit today.
Yeah.
8 kicks for Anthony DeFino. He's unleashed a 55-yarder. That's one he'll be talking about all night.
His dad's quite a good doctor, too.
Is that right?
Dr. DeFino, yep.
Quite a family tradition there
Yep.
at Fordham for the DeFinos. His dad played in the Vince Lombardi days.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
All right, 3rd and goal from the 5, meanwhile. The Raiders trying to finish this one off. Saraceno's going to run it and score easily. Touchdown, Colgate. Mike Saraceno again making big plays in the 4th quarter. And now 22-0 with just over 2 minutes to go. And the Raider offense with a little bit of positive momentum now heading into next week.
Might be a candidate for player of the game, huh?
I would think so. 92 yards and a touchdown for Mike Saraceno. And 164 yards through the air. Pretty solid afternoon from your quarterback. Jake Stein on for the extra point that time, and Stein boots it through. So a 23-0 lead for Colgate, 2:14 to go. And Mike Saraceno, the senior quarterback, or junior, again, I called him a senior, but just a junior. Now, looks like a Yankee fan. You saw the back of his cap there. Career highs on the ground for Saraceno, and through the air, 13 out of 25. The 1 interception, but it didn't hurt him. This play's been open all day.
It has. That pass run option, the ability to know when to do it, and that little bit of experience. He's got a lot of experience now. He's going to be dangerous with that play as the season progresses, especially in the Patriot League, but I'm sure they've all watched this and they'll know what to watch for.
10 plays, 54 yards on the drive. Saraceno capping it off on 3rd and goal with a 5-yard touchdown run. It is his 2nd touchdown rushing of the season. He's also thrown for 5 of them, so Saraceno getting it done now, co-captain for these Colgate Raiders.
Although I'm not sure you want your quarterback running quite that much as you move through the season, but he certainly has been effective today and has done a yeoman job for Colgate.
Stein puts the foot to the football, and Coven almost lost his balance. Now he's got it. Spins out of 1 tackle. Look out, Coven. Stein able to make the tackle and knock him out of bounds. Jake Stein, the true freshman kicker, getting himself involved there. Jonte Coven, the fastest player on that Fordham Rams side. You don't want to give him any room.
Yeah, a little break there, but Stein playing just like he should. Center field, then moving at the last minute. Didn't get caught up in the blocking and knocked him out of bounds, and you see the Fordham sideline.
Daniels dumping it off to Coven, short man, and a short pickup of about 5 as the Rams just try to also get some positive feelings heading into their next game. They'll be on the road again next week at Georgetown. Six out of 7 on the road to start the year. It's a suicidal schedule for anybody. I don't care how good you are, and when you're struggling with injuries, it's even tougher to recover from. But the Rams, Coven again. Another short pickup, and short of the first down. Rams will lose their 9th straight game going back to last year. And as I said, just 3 years ago, they won the Patriot League.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, in 03, they were 9-3. They lost some of the best offensive players they've ever had. And they haven't been able to fill those spots so far. 3rd and 2 for Fordham. Quarterback draw, Daniels, first down. Trying to get a little more and got about another yard, but that's it. Jeff Bean up there to bring down Daniels. And he got some help on the play as well. That Raider defense trying to preserve the shutout. Game 3 of last year. Remember the Georgetown game last year, Dale? Were you here for that one?
Yeah.
33-0. Colgate shut out the Hoyas that day.
By the way, just checking Daniels. He's limping pretty well. Nice pass.
Rifle over the middle and complete. That's the first catch of the game for Mike Melvin, their leading receiver. 13th catch of the year, matching his uniform number for the junior out of Pennsylvania. And a hurry-up offense in effect for the Rams. Under a minute and a half to go. Trying to get on the scoreboard. Deep from Daniels, looking for Melvin, and he's surrounded by Raiders, and a flag comes down. Eric Tupta back there on coverage, but he didn't turn around to look for the football, and that's going to cost the Colgate Raider.
Classic case of face guarding.
And it'll be their 7th penalty of the day. And again, 16 in 5 games coming in. So certainly not a crisp win for the Colgate Raiders.
Well, this will give Dick Bitt a little.
Pass interference on defense, number 34. 15 yards by the snap. Automatic first down.
But it'll give them a lot to work on. Going up into next week with Colgate. So you know what? This is called face guarding. You can't walk, run like that, and put your hands up and not turn around and play the ball. You're just guarding his face, and it's interference.
Deepest penetration of the afternoon for the Fordham Rams. Daniels overshooting that time, looking for Rayshawn Haynes.
Haynes went in and the ball floated out. He's limping. Daniels is limping, as I said, significantly.
Throws a good ball when he's got time, but he's been a little bit long this afternoon on his throws. 23 touchdown passes last year. Again, just 1 so far this year. That came last week. And it was to Rayshawn Haynes. He's looking his way again. Going deep down the sideline. It's going to be intercepted for the touchback. Beautiful interception for the Raiders. And it's Sam Breslin back there making the pick. The first interception of his career for the freshman out of Wayland, Mass. And so the shutout apparently will stand.
Little pump fake, and he just was trying to whale that as far as he could. And Breslin, as you said, playing center field, came up with that, his first interception, and they will now run the clock out with 1:06 left.
And the 9th interception on the season thrown by Daniels. 2nd of the day thrown by the Fordham Rams. The first one was returned for a touchdown. And that one also in the end zone, but it goes for a touchback. And now a new quarterback out there for the Colgate Raiders to finish this one out, but Anthony Fusillo has to call timeout on first down.
It's tough when of course, you're trying to make a wholesale change, you know, get a whole second team in, and
Anthony Fusillo.
Yeah, well, thought he called timeout. They started to bring the water out as you look at the Colgate season to this point. Again, that opening game looked like it was going to be a win for Colgate, but Central Connecticut, miracle comeback to win it. And then Dartmouth, 5-point win. So 2 losses by a total of 7 points for Colgate. They could very easily be 5-0 and then 6-0, including this game. J.J. Bennett with the carry that time for the Raiders as we go under a minute to go. Anthony Fusillo, the quarterback, his uncle, Mike Eruzione. Of course, one of the stars of that Miracle on Ice team, Lake Placid, so long ago, only 25 years ago already. Gives it to Bennett again. Quick moves by Bennett. J.J. Bennett across midfield and out of bounds. Quick little burst for Bennett, sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio.
That's called that adrenaline burst. Everybody else is tired. You can say, I'm ready to go. Give me the ball.
J.J. Bennett came into the game with 54 yards for the season. He picked up quite a few more on that run. Down to the 45-yard line of Fordham. Bennett again this time, met right at the line, got a couple.
Number 21, J.J.
And that could be our final play. So Fusillo gets in for a few plays to run out the clock.
Number 53, Corey Turzis.
There's Anthony's numbers. 6'3" freshman, Winthrop, Massachusetts. Quarterback of the future here, perhaps. And the Raiders have salted away their first Patriot League win of the season in their Patriot League opener. 23-0, their first shutout since Game 3 of last year. Impressive performance by the Colgate defense, but still a few things to work on. The Raiders will take it though, 23-zip. So the Colgate Raiders open the 2005 Patriot League season with a win today, 23-0 over the Fordham Rams. They've now won 20 of the last 21 games here at Andy Kerr Stadium. Let's go down to the field. Colgate coach Dick Biddle is with our Bob McGilligan.
Your offense really wasn't what you wanted it to be at halftime. Were you pleased a little bit more in the second half?
I just don't think we executed. I think we come out and play. We obviously played very good defense, great defense. Our offense executed a little bit better. We're just a little bit inconsistent on offense, but that happens. As long as your defense plays well, you have a chance to win. And we just hung in there. Our defense scored, and we scored at the end. And our offense helps our defense because we do control the ball and take time off the clock. So there's different ways to win, and when you shut somebody out and win 23-0, it's a big game.
Tell me about Mike Saraceno and the game that he had for you today at quarterback.
Well, I don't think we had any turnovers. I think we had one that was a long pass, which is the same as the punt because they got it on the 10-yard line. So that was the key. We didn't turn the ball over offensively, and we played great defense and scored on defense, and that's the key to winning.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the Patriot League win here today, and good luck next week.
All right, thank you very much.
Dick Biddle, the head coach for Colgate, back upstairs to you guys.
Thank you, Bob. So Dick Biddle, his 80th career win as the head coach of the Colgate Raiders, and his 47th in Patriot League play. He is now 9-1 against the Fordham Rams, and he's got a lot of big numbers against most of the teams in the Patriot League as the Raiders open up with a 23-0 win heading into Holy Cross next week. The final numbers, Dale, and not a big surprise that Colgate won this game.
No, one of the things that he talked about was the fact that they, the one turnover was insignificant, and the defense really helped out the offense. Obviously, Saraceno was the key, the catalyst, but they can't be pleased with that. You don't want your quarterback being your leading rusher, on any kind of a consistent basis. But they played well enough to win. They've got 103 offensive yards only for Fordham, so they really more than three times as much offense as Fordham did. Fordham just struggled offensively, but you know what? They were very game defensively. I give them a lot of credit, but for Colgate, it's a win. They've got the Patriot League one under their belt, so it's onward and upward.
They say defense wins championships, and when you're holding teams to 103 total yards, I don't care who you're playing, that's an impressive performance by the Colgate defense. The offense, the yardage is there. The points, not what they'd like, just a couple of touchdowns on the day. Also scored a defensive touchdown, but the Raiders get the win 23-0, and really, at the end of the day, you can't really complain too much about that. It's Colgate, their third straight win. They improved to 4-2 heading into Holy Cross next week. 23-0 again, our final. Our next telecast here on Time Warner Sports. Tomorrow afternoon, a Canadian Football League doubleheader. BC Montreal at 1 o'clock, followed by Toronto and Winnipeg at 4. For my partner, Dale Drypolcher, and for Bob McGilligan down on the field, our producer-director today was Joey Heslin. Producer was Bob Papaglione. So thanks, guys. Good job filling in. Got the job done. So do the Colgate Raiders. 23-0 over Fordham. Mark Larson saying thanks for watching here at Time Warner Sports as the Raiders open up the league season with a win.